Alrighty, I'm going to test some WuKong here. I tried to do it with game capture, with my AverMedia game capture thing, and it was just running like garbage. I think it needs to be replaced, so I'm going to do it live. Why not? Why not do it live? It's more fun that way. And we're going to do it recording this way, because I guess it's a laptop, so it's kind of nice to see how it actually performs on the laptop itself. So let's do that here. And let's see what we get here for performance. We'll just do a little bit here, maybe half an hour, just kind of get an idea of how the game actually runs on a mere 4060. This game apparently is really hard to run in general from what I've read. I've done a little bit, obviously, as I just said. And I was kind of surprised at how well it ran. So let's do it here. Let's do it live. And let's see how this thing runs. And yeah. I think it's going to run just fine. Spoiler alert. So we'll go in there. That looks pretty good. And let's do a little gameplay here. Yeah. Never streamed gaming ever before. So this laptop here is a Lenovo Legion. Hey, look at how much you can see me. Lenovo Legion 5 Slim. 2023 with an RTX 4060, and it has an AMD processor, 7840HS, 32 gigabytes of RAM, and a nice beautiful OLED screen, which hopefully shows up nice on the camera. You're going to get a lot of reflectivity because it's an OLED, but that's just the way that things are. Yeah, looks really nice on the screen. So yeah, we'll just do a little bit of testing here. This is an 1800p screen here, very high resolution. I'm probably going to lower it to like 1440p or 1600p just so that we can get a better idea, you know, because this is a bit of a weird resolution. This screen goes up to 800p, but I think I'm going to do 1600p, which is a much more common resolution on laptops. 4060 laptops. This is the 14-inch version, Rich Romans. Yeah, you can't even find this one on a 32 gigabyte anymore. It's a really nice laptop, one of my favorites of all time. It has a full wattage 4060, it goes up to 100 watts, and we can flip through some of the performance modes on the Legion here, so that if you don't have a high wattage 4060, say you have, I don't know, a G14, G16 from Asus, which runs at about 80 watts, you could get an idea of how that's going to run, and then, hello, Classic Charm. And then also we'll do low watt as well, like 60 watts, which will give you an idea of what, like maybe, you know, like an Asus VivoBook, a Dell XPS, if you have a 4060, it'll give you a rough idea of how that'll perform here. So just spoiler alert, I've already done a little bit of this. I tried it on game capture and it just like imploded, unfortunately. So I'm going to turn, is that too much lighting? Yeah, you can see me. That looks all right. There's a lot of reflectivity, unfortunately. It's the OLED, so we're going to be fighting with the OLED the whole time. So we're going to go 1600p. I think that's probably a decent way to test this. I think a lot of, why is the display glossy? This is an OLED glossy screen on the Lenovo Legion. This is the 5 Slim and 5 Slim OLED. So it's just a glossy screen. There's nothing we can do. Once we get in the game, you won't be able to see me, but you can see me like crazy right now. It'll cut out a little bit in a moment though, once we get into the game itself. Yeah, so anyways, so let's come in here, we'll jump right in. Ooh, that's loud. I was going to do it game capture, but it looked really bad on game capture, and it's a laptop. So, I mean, it kind of makes sense to record the laptop itself. I don't know, I'm kind of those weird people who like actually records the laptop itself, so you can hear it, right? It just kind of gives you the full experience. So I am going to increase that FPS size there. You guys are going to have a really hard time seeing that. It's tiny. Let's turn that up there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I think you guys can see that. Can you please test the game on your Legion 5 Pro? I don't actually have the Legion 5 Pro, but I will tell you right now, Classic Charm, this game is not CPU bound at all. It's very GPU heavy. So you can see here, like the CPU is not even being used. So whatever results we get in this test will be almost identical to what you're going to get on a Legion 5 Slim, AMD, Intel, as long as they're 4060, the Pro, as long as they're 4060, all these Lenovo Legions are going to run about the same. because this game is not CPU bound. So if you have an Intel CPU, an AMD CPU, you're gonna have no issues. You can see right here we're running at 18% CPU usage. It's really nothing, to be honest, for the system here. So that looks pretty good there. Yeah, that looks all right. Okay, so let's check our settings here. I played a little bit just to get an idea. So let's start with, yeah, so any high wattage 4060 will run this game very similar to this. This is not a CPU heavy game, very GPU heavy. So as long as you have a high wattage CPU, a high wattage 4060, you'll get the same results. VSync all on. Graphics, we're gonna go, that's way low. So we're gonna go with, ray tracing. Whoa. I mean, we can try a little ray tracing to start, I guess. Just start off heavy. So let's go with 50% DLSS scaling here. We'll go DLSS on. Framegen, we're going to need Framegen if we're doing DLSS on high. Whoa, are we going to start this video with just like an L? All right, so we're going to go ray tracing medium, high settings, DLSS 50%, 1600p, medium DLSS, but we need Framegen. There's just no way. Hi there, Legion Slim 5 is still the best small laptop. No, I still prefer this over the G14. I just finished my G14 video and a G16. The G14 is like nicer, I guess, because it's slimmer. It's more of a creator style laptop. The G14 is a very nice hybrid laptop, the 2024. It'll still game, and I'll show you in this video how well the G14 will game. I can pretty much pretend this is a G14. I'll show you how well it games. I prefer the Legion because it has a little bit better cooling. The fans aren't as annoying on this system, but I think they're both very nice. The thing is, the Legion is just also a lot cheaper, so it's easier to buy into a G16. Look at the frames though. I mean, we're getting above 60 FPS, 1600p with ray tracing on medium. There's a water area down here. You can come and get some water. By the way, I suck at Souls-like games. I'm really bad. Look at this though. With the water and everything. Looking pretty good. All right, let's see if we can bring the contrast down. Just give me one sec here. It's a little bit highlighted there. Looks a little washed out. Let's bring that down slightly. Configure video. If it lets me. It may not actually let me on this, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't think it's going to let me bring the color down, unfortunately. That sucks. I'm just kind of getting the hang of streaming. I just bought a brand new camera, the face cam. I think I'm going to switch them around. I'm going to use them backwards next time so you can get a little bit more contrast. The OLED's looking pretty good here, though, to me. Look at the ray tracing, though. So you need to restart for ray tracing. Yeah, no, ray tracing is on. Laptop game marks. I actually started the game with ray tracing on by accident. I did some game capture earlier and it just like didn't work. It looked like crap because my AverMedia game capture thing imploded. It was just looking like, I think it's toast. So there was a really weird like water effect over here that I was noticing with ray tracing off. It was like a shimmering effect, which is really interesting. Yeah, I have, oh, by the way, laptop game marks. I have Framegen on. We'll turn it off and you'll see how crappy this will run. It needs it, ray tracing, but yeah, there was a weird like effect here in this spot right here where this was like all weird and bubbly with ray tracing off, and then as soon as I turned ray tracing on, it like went away. So yeah, you can see that the ray tracing is on there. Look at that water. Yeah, look at that. So just so you guys know the settings again, because a bunch of you guys popped in here. So we're at DLSS 50% scaling. We are at 1600p though. We're not at 1080p. Frame generation is on. Ray tracing there. We're on high. You could turn this down. I do want to take frame gen off just so you guys can see how much the performance drops with that off, right? It's still playable, but it does drop quite a bit. Let's just play a little bit here, and then we'll kick off ray tracing in a minute. In my country, HP Omen RTX 3070 Ti is around $300 cheaper than Legion 5 4060. So the 3070 Ti is more powerful than a 4060. Absolutely. It will be about 20% faster, 15 to 20% faster. The HP Omen 16-inch, I'm assuming you're saying, will run it, it'll keep it cool. but it does require more watts and it does get hotter. So if you live in a very hot, what country are you in? Doesn't say. If you're in a very hot area, you know, with temperature issues, you may find that the 4060 just is more efficient, runs cooler, but the 4070 Ti, well, 3070 Ti will be a little bit more powerful. As I will repeat that I suck at these games. These guys are like noobs. Let's increase the frame rate here somehow. It's a little slow. Medium, graphics preset medium. Let's try that. This laptop is slightly raised. I have a little metal thing underneath it. It doesn't run that hot in the first place, but this is medium now. It's a little bit more playable with ray tracing. We're going to kick out of ray tracing in a minute here. The temp is correct. It's pretty hot in this room. We're at 25 degrees in here. Hot, 25 degrees. And it's a slim laptop, by the way. This is just a... ooh, there's a person there. I can't move very fast. It's a 4060, just a 14-inch laptop. What the heck was that thing? It was like a rat man. Where'd you go, bro? This game has like weird walls. Like I can't actually run through there, which is interesting. So you can see here that we're running at 100 watts there. This is like a high wattage 4060, about as high as you can get. 115 watts won't make any difference. Look at that water though. But what I am going to do here, I'm going to show you guys something. So I'm going to kick down to a lower wattage here. So now we're on balanced mode. So let's say you have a Asus G14 2024. That's around the wattage that an Asus J14 will run at. It runs at about 70 to 80 watts. And you can see there we didn't lose much performance. So the Asus G14 should run roughly a little slower than this, but pretty close. It'll run slightly faster than this, maybe a couple more FPS. Yeah, and watch the temperature drop here, by the way. See how much cooler it is there, 75, on balance mode. The nice thing about these 4060s is they may not be the most powerful GPU in the world, but they scale really well. You can drop the watts down, and that performance is still there. The person asking about the 3070 Ti, if you drop the watts on the 3070 Ti down to like 70, your performance would turn into crap. Watch this though. We're on to silent mode. Watch this. Wattage down to like 60. The laptop will, in a second, will get very quiet. And we're still getting the same performance. Look at that. 65 on the GPU, sorry, 75 on the GPU, only 65 watts. Oh, it's a boss. I'm going to get my butt kicked, by the way. After this, we'll kick out of ray tracing. Oh, I wasn't looking. I don't remember. All right, let's, I don't have any powers. Oh, man. There's a pretty long intro to this game, and you have all these sick powers. And I've lost them all. That's an impressive for a 4060. You've tested the 40. Yeah, 4080, I mean, there's a big jump there. Now, I do have DLSS on, just so you know. No Framegen, no. I'm going to, like, laggy get my butt kicked by this boss, and then we're going to kick out of ray tracing. Okay, I got to learn this guy's. Okay, he does a swinging attack, then he does nothing. Is that his only thing? He does a single attack. Okay, I thought he had a charging. Oh, he does have a sweeping attack. 1, 2, 3. All right, so he does 3 attacks. Oh, he does have a few different things. Man. It's all right if it stays at 70 degrees. Oh, yeah, yeah. The 4060 is I'm in silent mode, by the way, which is fun. The 4060 is rated to run at about 80, 85 degrees. And if they get hot, they'll just throttle. You'll just lose performance, right? Let's turn Framegen on. I'm going to get my butt kicked because it's laggy. After I lose to this boss, we will turn off ray tracing so I can get better. Man, he turns at the last second. Like the boss. I don't have... Alright, let's get serious here. I don't have any forms of, like, special attacks other than this, which he's just going to probably... Oh, it does stagger him. Okay, now we're getting serious. I see I have open... I see because I have an HP and Core i7. So is it a 13th gen Comic Nexus? Like a 13700, or would it be 12700? All right. Look at that frame hit. Get staggered. Oh. I don't think I can block this dude, but maybe. Oh, I'm gonna die. Yeah. I'm dead. Oh, that was a cutscene. I'm learning a power. I think it is. Yeah. It'll be fine, man. Yeah, Framegen is on right now. We have ray tracing on medium. We're on medium, 1600p. How much FPS can I expect with the Legion's 4070 Slim? Add 10%, basically. You'll get about 10% more performance. I'm going to bring you guys over here because you're way off to the side there. Oh my god, I can actually read your text now. Yeah. Yeah, 4070 is about 10% faster than a 4060, maybe 15%. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate the sub. Immobilize. When you start, I don't know if you've played this. When you start the game, you start off like a god, literally. You have all these crazy powers, and then you just like lose them all. So in the beginning, I was just wrecking face. I'll turn off ray tracing after this. I honestly didn't think ray tracing would work. This guy looks like a sweet potato. Just pulled out of the ground. And this is I mean, they're doing a good job on this. I think the company's called Game Factory. They're a Chinese company. And yeah, they're doing like a pretty good job. Yeah, Cosmic Nexus is, what, do you have AMD or NVIDIA? Nah, I'm not ready. I was reading texts. Right now, I don't think AMD has game-ready drivers. Just so you know. Okay. What GPU do you have? Oh, man, you gotta really let that thing. Game Science, that's who it is. That's the developer. Yeah, they're doing a damn good job on this. 40. Oh, you have a 4060 laptop, desktop. What CPU do you have? Bro, I'm not ready. Oh. Get wrecked, you weird rhino thing. Actually, the desktop 4060 is not much different than the laptop 4060. I'm amazed that I won that fight. I'm very bad at Souls games. And what resolution are you playing at, Cosmic? I'm gonna kick out to turn off ray tracing. It works, but actually, to be honest, Framegen works really well in this game. Normally, I get like a weird, like woo 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 kind of effect when I do Framegen. You can kind of see trailers, and frame generation they did a good job on this. It's not making me like feel weird and nauseous. I don't feel like there's latency, because a lot of the time when I play games with Framegen, there's too much latency, especially a game like this, and you just feel like you press the button and then it triggers. And in a game like this, like 2 seconds and you're toast, right? Yeah, recommended was basically like this. I think it had frame generation on, and it was like this, and I think it even had ray tracing. But let's kick it off here. So we'll go like that there. Frame generation will turn off, and I'll show you guys how it works without frame gen, without all these things. You have it at recommended too, and you're getting Cosmic Nexus. What 1600p? That's weird. No, what resolution is your screen, Cosmic Nexus? This is 1600p right now. So if you're at 4K or something, then it's going to be obviously like way harder. So we'll just kick out here. I think I have to exit the game because it said restart the game. So we'll go like that. We'll go quick to desktop and we'll come back. My Legion will get delivered tomorrow. Can't wait to get. What Legion did you get, man? I'm very curious. 1920 by 1080. I wonder if you're hitting like a CPU bottleneck, or maybe a temperature bottleneck, Cosmic Nexus. It is possible. I mean, the 4060 should do fine in this game. 4060 desktop is basically the same as a laptop, kind of. It's more powerful, but it should be fine. So you got a Slim 5 Gen 9 Ryzen 7 8845HS with 4070. Yeah, I bought that same laptop. I did a review of it with the 4060. It's a really nice laptop. It runs cooler than this. This is a slim laptop. This is the Legion 5 Slim 14-inch with the OLED from last year. It does a really good job for how thin it is. It runs cooler than an Asus G14, but it's still a pretty thin laptop. So the 16-inch Slim that you bought, it runs pretty cool. You're going to be happy with that. Let's come in here and just double check that turned off. So ray tracing turned off. So let's jump back in. Now we can test some more settings. By the way, we were on silent mode that whole fight, just so you guys know. We're going to go back into performance mode here. Yeah, the Slims are nice because you don't pay a lot of money. Well, they're still expensive, but you don't pay as much money as some other brands. And you just get a lot of performance. And you never really worry about the cooling on Legions. Like, generally speaking, they run cool. Even this 14-inch one runs pretty cool, I would say, compared to its competitors. It runs cooler. All right, so now we're at, like, look at the frame rate here. It's way up. So we're going to be able to turn up some of the settings now. We have frame gen off. So we have frame gen off. We're at high. Ray tracing off. I'm going to turn down the DLSS a little bit here. Probably to 75, because I'm okay playing at 60. We're on performance mode here. And do I have to refight that boss? Please, for the love of God. This is a save point, but maybe I had to come back and save. Wouldn't that just suck? I think it auto-saves, though. Ooh, rest. I'm going to show you guys some different settings here, though, because maybe you don't have a Legion. Maybe you have a different laptop. So right now, the Legion's running at 100 watts, which will be a little spicy on this chassis. But 100 watts I consider a full wattage 4060. You can get a 4060 up to 115 watts. But the scaling after, I guess we'll go this way, the scaling after a 4060, you go up to 100 watts, it basically plateaus. So 100 watts is realistically full wattage on a 4060. So watch this here. We're at 64, lows of 22. This CPU is not going to be an issue here. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to kick down to a different mode. I'm going to go down to balanced mode, right? We only lost 5 FPS. Going down to balance mode, and you can see now we're at 70 watts. So if you have an Asus G14 from 2024, it runs at about 80 watts. So you'll get something like this performance, which is still very good on balance mode, and it's much quieter. So if you have like an Asus G14, you're worried, it's not running at high watts, you'll be fine. I'm going to kick down one more into silent mode. You're going to see those wattages drop down to like 60. This would be very similar to something like like say you get a Dell XPS or an Asus VivoBook. They often run at 50 to 60 watts on a 4060. And so you can see, we did lose some FPS, but we're still at 50, right? So the 4060 is still going to do a really good job. Why not use custom mode to reduce the wattage of your performance? This laptop doesn't have custom mode, actually, just so you know. Some Legions do, some Legions don't. I found that some of the higher end Legions have more custom mode stuff, and typically the newer ones. This is a year-old model. If you got like a Legion 9i Pro or 7i Pro, you can custom the profiles. This one doesn't have it. It was before they put that into the systems. This guy's kind of slow. But yeah, so if you guys don't know Legions, if you get a Legion 9i, Legion 7i Pro, I think the Legion 5.7 Slim, I think, maybe allows, why is it not picking that up? Maybe allows for custom modes where you can like tweak the CPU. And this game is not CPU bound at all. You can see it's just not really hitting the CPU that hard. So you could bring your CPU wattages down and bring your temperatures down. Because you can see here it's getting a little warm on the 4060, 86. It's not too bad. I have no idea where I'm going. There's a temple here. But I'm going to play it in balance mode most of the time just because it's really loud. You guys probably can't hear me. You only lose like 3 FPS, so. Yeah, the 16-inch stuff, it's just a little newer. I am going to I want to see what we can do with the settings here. Like, we could use frame gen, I guess. Like, you can I'll just show you. It just makes the frame gen it's such an improvement. Like, we're on silent balance mode here. We're well over 70. And it doesn't look bad. Please upload the full video later if possible. It should auto-upload, just so you know. And thanks for watching, by the way, man. I have it set to auto-upload. My full specs are Core i7, 16 gigabytes DDR5, RTX 4060, 1 terabyte SSD. Yeah, you'll be fine. You should be fine on this game. You may have to play with the settings here and there. It's all going to come down to temperatures too. As you see how hot this is running when I was in performance mode. If you were in a hotter country, like it's 25 degrees Celsius here. If you were in a place that was like 35 degrees, you may start to throttle, which would decrease your performance. This is like a fox dude. Ah, I wasn't ready. I was looking away. So I don't know much about this game. I guess I know it's based on Chinese lore, Chinese myth lore, but I don't really know much beyond that. Like, I guess it's like a Souls-like game. It's running pretty well here, though. Oh, geez, there's a frogman. You can jump, so can I. $60 to 70 degrees is normal on gaming laptops. For the GPU, yeah. This is a pretty thin laptop. It's the Legion Slim 5 14-inch. It's pretty thin. So if you had like this same spec in a Legion 5 16-inch, it would run cooler because you actually get more heat pipes. You get one extra heat pipe on the 16-inch, and you get bigger fans and a thicker chassis. So it runs a little cooler. I never got my 16-inch model. Oh, there's a rabbit there. My 16-inch model never got above like 75, 80 degrees. If you have Intel, it might run a little warmer because Intel CPUs run a bit hotter. So you're going to be balancing temperatures between the two of them. Yeah, it just depends on the system, but I wouldn't worry about it too much. Usually they're not going to hurt themselves, right? It'll just throttle slightly once you get to a hot point. You can always, why am I dying? Am I poisoned? Oh, I'm poisoned. I guess the frog people have a poison of sorts. Cool. Can I ever replace my CPU? No, you can't. CPU and GPUs are soldered in your system, in your laptop are soldered. You can potentially replace the RAM and SSD. This laptop actually has soldered memory. It runs fast, but it is soldered, unfortunately. 32 gigabytes, but... I mean, my conclusions as I'm going so far is you can do a lot with these 4060s, right? Like I'm on, let's just come back to the settings just for people who are popping in and out. I mean, we're at 1600p frame generation off, frame generation on. We can turn that off. We can turn the presets down to medium. I mean, there's so many things we can do here, right? We can play with these scalings here. It defaults to like 50 for some reason. We don't need 50 around these parts. We'll go 75. Now, just so you guys know, if you don't know a lot about DLSS, I find some people, it's a little like confusing to them. With DLSS, what you're doing is you're taking a higher resolution, right? You're squishing it down to a lower resolution, and then you're up-resing it back up again. It sounds weird, but if you have a higher resolution screen, let's say you have a 1600p screen or a 4K screen, you can add more DLSS and still have it look good. So if you were on a 1600p screen and you added medium DLSS balanced, it would still look good. If you did that same thing on a 1080p version of this laptop, it may start to get a little blurry. So because this is a 1600p screen, it's actually an 1800p screen, I can add a little bit more DLSS. Like I can come in here and I can add a little bit more DLSS, 50 for example, go like that there. And honestly, on the screen, it looks exactly the same to me. Visually, I can't tell any difference. But I got 15 more frames. Just so you know. Can I replace 2024, 2023? There is no 2024 of this laptop yet. It's a 2023 model. This is a 7840HS processor, which is basically the exact same thing as the 8845HS. And AMD didn't change the CPU. They just tweaked it and put it out again. They're probably going to make a new one of this laptop because there's the brand new AMD AI 365 and 370 laptops that just came out a few days ago. I just bought an Asus OLED ProBook 13.3 inch with the 4060, which I'll test this game in maybe tomorrow or the next day. And it has the brand new AMD chip, the AI 370. It was a very expensive laptop, very expensive. But I want to test out some Asus stuff. I'm always very hard on Asus on my channel. Nobody sends me anything from Asus. I buy the vast majority of my laptops. Lenovo will lend me laptops once every couple months. Like this I bought. I buy most of my stuff, so I don't really care if I rip on a company. I buy them. I can say what I want. So I don't know if Asus will ever send me anything, but they do make very expensive products, but they do make very nice products. They're just very expensive. This is overclock. Yeah, you can overclock these GPUs. Blah, 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 blah. Very easy on Lenovo laptops to overclock. You just come in here. Mine's overclocked here. So you just do 200, 400, and you click the button. If you have a Lenovo Legion, any of the Legions should overclock naturally very easily. If you have like a ThinkBook, it won't. I think that the Asus stuff is pre-overclocked. Like it just maxed out. Oops. You cannot undervolt. Sorry, I bumped the thing. You cannot undervolt, unfortunately, on a 7840HS. You can't undervolt on an Intel H processor. You can only undervolt the HX processors. So no undervolting on this, unfortunately. You just got the Lenovo Legion 5 14-inch OLED. That's what this is here. Can I jump that far? It's so far. This is the 14-inch model. It's one of my favorite laptops ever. It has an awesome CPU, a really good GPU, and it's relatively thin. It runs a little bit cooler and performs a little bit better than a G14 2023. It runs quite a bit better than the 2024 Asus G14. It's significantly better than like the HP Omen 14-inch, some of those laptops. That's not a very good laptop. So my temp is around the same, 70 to 60. Yeah. You have a thicker laptop. I'm on balance mode right now. I could go to performance mode. You'll see my FPS go up. Now we're on performance mode. I'll run in performance mode for a while just so you guys see what it's like. My room is really hot, by the way. I've been testing games for hours. I have like my desktop on. It's super freaking hot in here. So the laptop's not going to run cool, but whatever. It's just hot. What's a good setting for an AI9? AI9? Oh, on i9 processor, 16 gigabytes DDR5 GeForce 3050 in a VivoBook. So that VivoBook, is it a 4 gigabyte or is it a 6 gigabyte GPU in that VivoBook? Because there's two variants of that 3050. It'll make a big difference. Honestly, you deserve to be sent products. Love your reviews about the Legion 5. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Lenovo does send me products. They don't send me much because I usually buy them before they could send me the products. I have a pretty good relationship with Lenovo. They treat me well. They invited me to CES. Like, I paid, but I still met with them. But they will send me laptops to review, and you send them back. I borrow them if I ask them. The problem is I'm not like a high-level processor, creator. Someone like Jared's Tech would get them before me. So usually I just buy them before Lenovo has a chance. They'll be like, hey, Bo, we have a Legion 5. Do you want it? And I'm like, I already reviewed it, but... Gigabyte has sent me one laptop. I haven't asked them for more, but I will. I'm going to ask Gigabyte to send me some more stuff. They're pretty cool. Asus doesn't, or MSI don't, but Gigabyte sent me one. They're cool. They seem really cool. And Lenovo is really good to work with. They treat creators really nice, actually. So, but the thing is, I'm impatient. I just buy stuff. I buy the laptops. I review them. I use them for a while. I usually daily drive each laptop while I review it for a couple weeks, and then I get rid of them, sell them at a loss. But whatever. That's the life. Where would you rank the Roman gaming laptops? It depends on the Omen. I did not like this is sick, by the way. I did not like the 14-inch HP Omen at all. I thought it was a really bad laptop. But the 16-inch stuff is pretty good. And the 15-inch. They do a pretty good job of cooling. Their performance is good and relatively inexpensive, I would say, for the HP Omen. And they look kind of sleek. Kind of like, how a Legion is a bit stealthy. I find that the Omens, they do a pretty good job of them. HP is weird because their prices are kind of all over the price, but if you can get an Omen for a good price, I think they're worth it, to be honest. They're pretty good. Legions have better cooling. Lenovo Legions have better cooling, but that does not say anything bad about an Omen. They're still very good. Do these reviews make up the price loss you sell them for? Not really. Not really. I make money on YouTube though. It's like my job now. I just like kind of turned it into a job recently. I don't make much money, but I do make money off of YouTube. So like positive money. I spend a lot on YouTube. Yeah. It's look at this weird thing. So I'm definitely in the positive, I would say. When I've hit about 40,000 subscribers, I got to the positive. I do make some money actually. Like I don't really make much on YouTube. However, I do have like affiliate links through a company called Impact. It's like a third-party company. Some creators use it, and you can put links down to like in your video description to like say a Lenovo laptop, and if you buy it, I get commission, not through Lenovo, but through a third party. Oh crap! I want to fight this guy. And what happens is people use those links. It doesn't increase the price of the laptop, and then I get a little bit of commission. And every country is different. That helps a lot. So do the Amazon affiliate links. And I don't have any affiliate links with the companies directly, so I don't feel like it's like, you know, I'm not taking money from them or anything like that. But not that there's anything wrong with being sponsored. But for me, I am not screwing with that thing right now. But for me, it just, like people have been picking up stuff off the affiliate links, and that stuff adds up quick, to be honest. Like say I have 1,000 people who look at a video of a laptop, and let's say 3 of them use an affiliate link. You'd be amazed how much that helps me on my channel. Like a lot, to be honest. So thank you if you've ever used an affiliate link, Amazon, but also just thank you for watching. I'm not doing this to like become a rich man. I am getting a Lenovo Legion Pro 5i, i9, 14th Gen, 32 GB RAM, 4060. That's 2 terabytes, a pretty decked out system, 1700. Should I buy it or go for the i7? I would buy the i7 depending on the price. If you can save yourself a couple $100, get the i7 because the performance will be the same. A 14700 versus a 14900, there's almost no difference in a laptop. You're always going to run into thermal overhead on a laptop. It's not like a desktop, so I just get the i7 there. I got an i5 on that ThinkBook that I reviewed, and it ran fine. It worked very well. The only problem I see with this is the Fortnite. Yeah, Fortnite is a CPU-heavy game, so in laptops, CPUs get hot. Therefore, they don't do as well in like esports, high FPS games. Laptops actually, interestingly, do better in like GPU-heavy games like this, because the GPUs don't get as hot. 1800p, I get the same FPS, but my GPU is now pulling 60. Yeah. Usually you want to, on a gaming laptop, it's better to get the GPU hot and not put quite as much power into the CPU. So playing at a higher resolution actually is pretty good on a laptop. That's why you can see these laptops do really well. Like this is doing almost desktop level performance because it's just the GPU is not getting that hot. And, you know, the CPU at this higher resolution isn't getting murdered. Oh, somebody's shooting arrows. What the heck is that? That's a new enemy. Oh, that's a new guy. Does this Legion bottleneck at 1080p? Depends on the game. This is an AMD processor, 7840HS, so it's not that hot, and it does run relatively efficiently. If you played like Rocket League, eventually you'd hit a CPU bottleneck, but you'd get a lot of FPS, to be honest. Oh, he can hit his own guy. It reminds me of Ghost of Tsushima. If you have played Ghost of Tsushima, which I've been playing recently, the feel of the game feels more like Ghost of Tsushima than it does like a Dark Souls or something like that. It just feels a lot like Ghost of Tsushima. It's not as hard. Ghost of Tsushima is way harder. Should you buy a 4090 laptop or 4080 desktop? A 4080 desktop will be more powerful than a 4090 laptop, but it's not. But you can't take it anywhere. If the price was the same and you only care about gaming performance, get the desktop. It's going to perform better. But the laptop is you can move it around more. Do you recommend buying a cooling pad? So I just put out a review of the Lelano cooling pad last week, which worked really well. Where's the other one? And I'm putting out this in a few days. This is a Fly Digi. Where are you? There you are. Fly Digi cooling pad. And you can see it's kind of like the IETS GT500 or the Lelano cooling pad. It's not just hold on. This is an important question. I'm going to answer it properly. That's a very serious question, and I want to do this question due diligence. These cooling pads don't do anything, right? These metal ones with these little fans in them that hook into a USB, that's no different than raising your laptop up. So they work, but you could also just stick your wallet under your laptop. These work very well. These are they have like a gasket, foam gasket around them. If you watch my review of the Lano stuff, this one's coming out soon. They have a foam gasket around them. They seal the bottom of the laptop. They plug into the wall. That's one downside. But then they just force air into the bottom of the laptop. And if you watch my recent review of the Lano on a 4090 laptop, it dropped the temperatures a lot. And what happened is that GPU could boost up like crazy. On a 4060, I did it on a Legion 7 Slim 4060 last year, and it ran really cool. Really cool. So if you get that style, they do cost more, but they're definitely worth it. That I think is Korean. Unfortunately, I can't read Korean. 4K, this is not, I'm going to try to read that. This is not 4K, this is 1600p on an RTX 4060. So let me show you the settings. Unfortunately, I don't speak Korean, but I will help you in any way I can. So we're at 1600p. And we're at 50% scaling DLSS. And we're on, oh, that changed. We are on high right now. No ray tracing. Frame generation off. And I don't know how well this would run at 4K on a 4060. You could, but you'd need a lot of scaling or frame gen. I hope that answered your question. I can't read Korean, but I read some of your letters there. And the laptop is a Lenovo Legion 5 Slim. Is there any way I can translate that? Give me a second here. Give me 1 sec. I just want to quickly translate for this guy. Translate. The power of the internet. Translate. Let's see if we can translate some Korean. Google account. Goku needs to get to 4090. What? Who's Goku? This is what he said. I don't know what that means. If you mean Goku, like Super Saiyajin Goku, yes. I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan, by the way. I don't watch a lot of anime, but I'm like a massive Dragon Ball fan. Massive. I haven't been working out for the past year, but I used to be like a big beefcake. I'm gonna die! And most of my motivation was based on Goku. Actually, Vegeta, to be honest. Look at this fucking thing. No, we do not fight giant werewolves. Oh my god, he has massive attack power. Thank you for that donation, man. I appreciate that. RSD, is that, I'm not sure what currency that is, but thank you so much. I'm going to get wrecked. You have to, so these games, this is a Souls-like, but it's like a, I don't know, slightly more like a Ghost of Tsushima style game. You really have to watch them and learn their attack patterns. I don't know how to dodge this guy. So he jumps, and he just does a double-handed attack. Man, how do you, what settings should I use on a 4050? It depends on your screen resolution. Pande? Abhash Pande? It depends on your screen resolution. If you have a 1600p, you could do medium, but you're going to need medium setting, 1600p with medium DLSS. You'll be fine. If you have a 4060, you can do high. Put it that way. To the 4050 question, VRAM, you're going to be fine. Where is it? Here. So the system right now is using 6.5. I'm at 4.9. So the 4050 has 6 gigabytes of VRAM. I'm a little over 6 gigabytes, but you could just add a tiny bit more scaling, and the 4050 would be fine. People sleep on the 4050. It's still a good GPU. I often make fun of NVIDIA on my channel, like desktops, but NVIDIA 4000 series GPUs are really good. Oh, Serbia. Oh, thanks, man. No, I appreciate that. Yeah, Serbian. I grew up with a lot of Serbian friends, actually. Appreciate that. What Dragon Ball game do I play? I haven't played a Dragon Ball game. Well, that's a lie. I play Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle on my phone every single day. And I've been doing that for 9 years. Because I'm a nerd. And I love gacha games. I don't pay money on that game, but I do play it a lot. I've played lots of Dragon Ball games. I'm actually needing to get into Fighter Z. I played Xenoverse, but I didn't really like the fighting style of Xenoverse, like the back and forth. I don't know, the 3D kind of thing. Fighter Z Fighters, the right to left style is what I grew up with. I grew up with like Budokai, a lot. What is it called? Tenkaichi? How do you say that one? And I also grew up with the Game Boy Advanced Legacy of Goku. Game's sick. I heard the i7 has thermal problems on the 5i Pro. So Intel's a little weird because Intel processors you do not want to run hot because they will throttle. But that doesn't mean you're going to get FPS problems. The problem is you're going to be sharing the same cooling solution between, so you have your GPU and your CPU. You have two fans on either side with heat pipes running between them. So if the CPU is getting really, 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 really hot, it's going to take all that heat load to cool that CPU, meaning your GPU is going to be like, I need some more cooling. The advantage of an AMD processor is it typically runs cooler, depending on which AMD processor typically runs cooler, like this one. So you get your GPU can get boosted up a little bit more. Legions in general run pretty cool. It's one of the reasons I don't recommend an i9 processor in a Legion. You can, I mean, if you want, but I don't recommend it over an i7 unless the price is similar because the i7 will perform almost the same because of temperatures. I have a laptop with a 13900H. I don't know, this is Jeff, this is an important question too. So Intel processors have been having issues with, whoa, what the hell is this thing? Oxidation on their CPUs, which is actually has something to do with the factory, but they also have like a core voltage issue. Okay, screw you, I'm trying to talk. They have a core voltage issue where the HX processors and specifically the desktop processors are getting issues. We have two things going on here. First, I'm gonna die. The first thing is we don't necessarily know for sure that laptops are being affected. They might be. However, HX laptop processors are typically the same thing as a desktop. So my laptop, my ThinkPad, has a 13950HX, which is literally a 13900K from a desktop. So yes, it could be potentially affected. Your 13900H is a totally different chip. It's not related to a desktop CPU. It uses much less voltages than an HX processor. So I can't say for sure, but personally I would assume and I would guess that the H processors from Intel are going to be fine. HX, we'll see. We haven't heard any reports of the laptops having issues. Part of that could be that the laptops don't have as many voltages. And part of this problem comes down to the voltages on the CPUs being very high on the desktops to get performance, which is causing them to potentially have issues. A lot of these laptops now, I know my ThinkPad already has one, the 4090, RTX 4090 ThinkPad, already has a microcode, already has a microcode update. So I don't actually I'm not too worried about it being degraded. It just depends on on how fast the manufacturer puts out microcode. This game is really random and actually pretty hard. It's actually semi-open world. Like big ass werewolf. I was not supposed to be at that area. I was doing 0 damage to that thing, and it was fuck you, and it was murdering me. So I think it's this is a little bit more open world than I realized. It's not quite like Elden Ring open from what I'm seeing. Then again, I'm in a forest. But did I die? Yeah, I died. But it does seem to have like areas that are more difficult. Can you share your Mango HUD config? I don't use Mango HUD. This is just MSI Afterburner with Riva Tuner. Yeah. When I joke, I do sometimes critique Intel processors on my channel, but that's just because of battery life. They just don't have good battery life. They're not bad. They just don't have good battery life. But they're very powerful. I use a 13950HX right now. It has horrible battery life, but it's incredibly powerful. Like, it's more powerful than actually, it's about as powerful as my desktop. So, and a lot of these companies are putting out microcode. They're gonna, this issue with Intel I think is gonna be fine. Thanks for the response. Watch your video before deciding to buy the Legion 5 Slim 7840 HS with the 4050. Awesome. Make very good laptop reviews. Thanks, man. It's a good laptop. Same processor as I'm using right here, by the way. What's the RPM fan noise? So I'm going to show you in a sec. Once I kill this dude, get wrecked. Noise thing. So we are at, can you see that? I'm like touching the laptop. We're at 55. I'm on like rage mode. This is not a thin laptop, not a thick laptop. This is a very thin laptop. Just so you know, it's going to run a little hotter than a 16-inch version of this laptop. This would be running similar to a G14 from Asus. A little cooler, a little bit more powerful than an Asus G14, but similar. Whereas, you know, a Legion 16-inch or an Asus Strix or something is going to run cooler. Now we're on balance mode. You can see it runs cooler. It's 5 dB quieter. And I'm going to go down to silent mode. These 4060s, if you have a 4060 laptop, just be aware, you can really scale the wattages down here and still get really good performance. You can still, we're still at 60 in silent mode, and you're going to get really good wattage. 4060, 4050, and 4070 are, they're not the most powerful GPUs in the market, but they scale very well. Meaning you can put them in silent mode. It's so quiet. 42, it's freaking quiet. But you still get good performance. Let's play in silent mode for a while, just for the fun. You guys can see what that can do. Hi from Iran. Oh, you're Iranian. How are you? What do you think about the new Zen 5 CPUs? I don't know yet, but I have one upstairs. You're talking about the laptops. I just bought an Asus G14, Asus ProArt 13.3 inch with an AI 370 from AMD. I speak Farsi, by the way, just a little bit. Kheli yikami baladam. There's that big head dude. So how did I turn into a fly before? That guy turned me into a fly. Did AMD just scam us with the 88? So the 8845HS is literally the 7840HS, same as this. But I've noticed two things being different with the CPU. Yes, they scammed us. They didn't scam us. They gave us a stupid name that's dumb. They all do it. It's the same as 13th gen Intel and 14th gen. It's the same thing. The 8845HS has better battery life than the 7840U, which is 7840HS, which is this here. It just has better battery life because like some bugs have been squished out. This CPU can sometimes have sleeping issues and like weird bugs. The 8000 doesn't have that anymore. And of course you get the AI stuff. It's just like they took the same chip, they put it back in the oven for another 5 minutes to let it cook a little better. Okay, so I am playing, I've tried lots of settings. I'm going to change it up just so you guys can see different settings because people are popping in and out. Let's go back here and we'll try, we're at 1600p. I did ray tracing to start and it was doing fine. I did need frame gen, but we're at ray tracing. So we have super resolution turned up. We can turn the DLSS down. We can turn this, we're on high by the way. We can turn it up to very high. This is going to be rough. And we can turn on frame gen though. It's not going to run well. Let's see what happens. I mean, frame gen does make a huge difference, but it's pretty close to 60. Let's turn the DLSS up again a little bit here. Play on very high, like a beast. I actually didn't think it would run that well. Let's go to 60. Get that sweet console 60 FPS. Sorry, I missed a bunch of questions. Is an i9 13900 HX 4070 laptop powerful enough to run demanding games on max settings? Depends on your resolution. At 1600p, you can, with DLSS, yeah, man, you can run, on 1600p, you can run like any game with DLSS maxed out. 4K, you could do a little 4K as well. Be a little suspect, but you could do 4K on that. And this CPU is powerful. You might need a little DLSS, but if you're cool, look at this water. This is ray tracing off. If you're okay with a little bit of DLSS, you're going to be good to go. Friendly advice or recommendation. If you can add CPU temp. Yeah, it's weird. It didn't show it. I think I might have killed it, actually. I just realized. I've been having weird issues. No, I'm dying. No. Frogman. I've been having issues with MSI Afterburner, like just randomly murdering my CPU stats, like while I'm doing videos. If you watch my videos, you'll notice that like, wow, it's really small. I'll be doing like game testing, and then all of a sudden my CPU stuff will just vanish, and then it'll pop back up. I might have to use hardware info to do this. CPU use. Yeah, see, the temperature's not there. It was here before, and it just vanished. I can get it, though. Let's just get it. Just give me a second here. Let's get CPU temps. It's a little weird. I'm gonna do some funky business here. I'll get CPU temps, just so you guys know. I mean, it's not relevant to the 4060, but it is relevant, I guess, to the laptop itself, because some of you may have it. So you can come into hardware info. We can check the CPU while I'm going. It's at 70 degrees. Just so you know, the 7840HS is not a hot CPU. That's why I kind of just was like, eh. But we can come in here. We can go OSD, we just got to find it in here. It's going to be so much here. Core. Is that GPU or CPU? CPU. Okay, there we go. So we're just going to go, I think just core will be fine. Yeah, it's just it's like a general number. It's fine. That's the core CPU. Could we do APU, GPU, SoC? That's the max temp, so we'll go with that there. Yeah, let's go like that. You know what else we can do while we're here? Let's find the frame rate chart here. I'll just give you guys a frame rate graph. I can never remember how to do this. Column 2. No. Line 2. It's so far, so close. Okay, and then we need to go width, I don't know, 200 pixels? Y minimum, 0? Y max, what's the highest FPS we're going to get in this game, 120? Let's try that. Height, I think. Width is 2, that's too big. Let's go 100. I think I accidentally messed that up. I need my height. Oh, height. Sorry, I'm just going to do this real quick. If you ever wonder how... So if you ever watch my laptop reviews, I do daily drive the laptops, usually for a few days when I'm doing them. I like go off camera, and then I film stuff at the beginning, then I come back later. It's just the way that I do things. Then I can like make sure that the conclusions that I had are right. The hardest part of doing laptop reviews is like this crap, like getting these things set up. Yeah, like that didn't work. The frame rate chart. There it goes. Such a pain in the ass. Okay, so I mentioned a bunch of questions here. If I'm not mistaken, your wife is Iranian. Oh yeah, my partner's Iranian. Yeah. Discord is blocked in Iran. Yeah, that's okay, man. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, my partner is Iranian. Are you playing with Advanced Optimus? This laptop doesn't have Advanced Optimus. But I did enable DGPU. I had to kick it out of the system. So yes, I'm in DGPU only mode. Dude, XeSS is happening after I ordered my Slim 5 last night. Hell yeah. Hardware info as an overlay. Yeah, so you have to have MSI after... You don't have to have MSI afterburn. You have to have RTS... where are you? You have to have... Riva Tuner. There it is. You have to have Riva Tuner. As far as I know, you have to have Riva Tuner installed. Then you can go into hardware info and you can get... When my CPU is being an asshole, MSI, then I go here. MSI, the guy who makes MSI, he's I believe he's a Russian dude. And so sometimes he gets like issues with putting stuff out. And so sometimes CPUs... Oh, let's not mess with that thing. But sometimes CPUs are not updated. Like the new AMD stuff is going to be months before it's updated. The Core Ultra stuff just got... Is this game a new game? Yeah, this game launched like 3 hours ago. That's why I'm streaming at 2 o'clock in the morning for where I am. I'm going to buy a Legion 5 Slim. Whoa, I'm trying to read your questions. Let me kill this guy and I'll read your question. Oh man, that guy's really up there. I'm going to buy a Legion 5 Slim on Friday to play this game. It's nice. Yeah, that's what this is, Legion 5 Slim, 14-inch. Same laptop, man. And even if you get 16 gigabytes of RAM, you're going to be fine. You can see I'm only using 4.6. I usually prefer 32, but I do like pro stuff on my laptops. This is a great laptop. No, don't fall. It's a great laptop. Bro, you're my favorite tech YouTuber. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. The salty bucket. You're not salty. You're friendly. Straight to the point, and you're a very good reviewer. Look like a chill dude. Thank you. I do praise myself in being relatively chill. I do have high energy, but I also am relatively chill. I am streaming at 2:25 a.m. I bought this game launched in Canada. Like, I'm in the west area too of Canada. It launched so late. And I actually did game capture, and I did like a video for this, and it looked like crap. My game capture card is like dead. It's an AverMedia. I don't even know. I think I just raged through it. It was like a blocky artifact. It ran fine before, and all of a sudden it just stopped working. So I'm going to buy a 4K one, which is super expensive, like $400. So we'll figure that out. But I got angry, so I was like, you know what? I'm going to live stream this game because you guys can then just like ask me stuff while I'm going. And then the video will go up and people can just watch it. Do you think there will come another Slim 5 14 this year? I kind of think so because there's a bunch of 14-inch laptops that came out. They weren't very good. The G14, I mean, it's a nice laptop, but it's not really a gaming laptop. The HP Omen 14-inch it's all right. It's also a creator laptop. The MSI Stealth 14 that I tested is good. It is a gaming laptop, but it's bulky, and it's Intel. Some people don't want that. So I think that Lenovo has been waiting because they haven't put out any gaming AMD stuff other than a couple of refreshes. I think they were waiting for the AI stuff, which they can't do right now. Right now they're locked behind Asus. That's why I just bought an Asus brand new AMD laptop. Because Lenovo, they have them. The laptops exist. I know the ThinkPad T14. They already have it. I've seen pictures of it. It's just that it's what do you call it? It's embargoed. That's not the right term. Asus gets to put them out first. Then a few weeks later, Lenovo will be able to do it. So Lenovo should have stuff coming soon. I would put money on them putting out a new 14-inch, probably in the fall. This is roughly when they put the one out last year, but the CPU, this guy again, the CPUs are like embargoed or whatever. I'm going to fight this guy, by the way. 400 for capture card. Yeah, man. I have a 1080p, but it has 4K pass-through, but the video is only 1080p, so it looks so bad because I upload at 4K now. A 4K capture card is super freaking expensive, man. 400 Canadian. That's 300 American, just so you know. I'm Canadian. You take 25% off. So the settings here, I've been playing with them. Right now I'm on very high, which is like almost maxed. Ray tracing off. We did ray tracing in the very beginning of the stream. You can go back and watch it later, and this is uploaded. It worked fine. Framegen on. I'm going to lower this back down to medium, and I'm going to go with more of a native setting, just so you guys can see. So we're going to go with that there. We'll turn Framegen off. I'm going to tell you guys, I don't normally like Framegen. I usually find it makes me like motion sick. It's like blurry. There's a bit of like input lag in a game like this. These guys nailed it. This company. The Framegen is really on point. It feels very smooth. I'm not noticing any lag whatsoever. No any latency on the controller. It feels great. I'm wired too, but it just feels great. And then this is a 1600p Caesar, by the way. I got the overlay working with the RTSS. It does have yeah, I use RTSS anyways, just because I can like make this they look pretty. The native, I use MSI combo with hardware info because I like the way MSI looks, like the colors. But sometimes the CPU just like vanishes from MSI, and then like I'll do a whole video review and I'll be like, what the hell, my CPU temperatures are gone. I noticed from watching the videos of AMD's new processors, they are very cool on average. Yeah. So one of the things that AMD is focusing on efficiency, this CPU runs relatively cool. You can see we're at 68 degrees on performance mode. This is the CPU maxed in this game. It's not being hit that hard. But AMD stuff typically is cooler than Intel, for the HS stuff at least. And I think that they're really focusing on that going forward, which is their niche, right? Like Intel has more power, raw power, but it has worse battery life. AMD is more efficient and it runs cooler, it has better battery life. So it depends what you want. Is this game like God of War, Jedi Survivor? Nah, it's not like God of War. It's like Jedi Survivor. It's kind of like Jedi Survivor. It's like if you took Jedi Survivor and mixed it with Ghost of Tsushima. Probably not quite, I'm going to die by the way. Probably not quite, is this a bad guy? Yes, he is a bad guy. Probably not like a true Souls-like, oh my god, let me just give me a second here. I gotta see what this guy does. Not like Demon Souls or anything like that. It doesn't really feel like Demon Souls. It feels a little bit more like, yeah, I'm not supposed to be fighting this guy. It feels a little bit more like, yeah, maybe a Jedi Survivor mixed with Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima is harder than this. The battles are harder. This game has crazy monster scaling. Like, I've died 3 times because I've been going to like a bad area and just getting those guys. That guy 2-shot me. So it's really hard. I'm also not good at these games, just so you know. I'm really not good at these games. Like Souls-like. I have like, I just want to fight, and then I have to like spend half an hour memorizing their like attack patterns. It's not as bad as Demon Souls and Dark Souls, where you have to like really, where you have to really memorize the attack patterns, or you're gonna like never stand a chance. It's not that bad, but it's not as like button mashy as Jedi Survivor. Like you will die, and I've been dying a lot. Let's go this way this time. Those big-headed dudes are obviously very strong. That werewolf guy, if you guys were here before, that werewolf dude just freaking wrecked me. I don't know, can you level in this game? Like, I don't know. Self-advance? I've been getting these spark points, but misses. This freezes them. When you start the game, you start off like a god, and you have all these crazy powers. I mean, sure. What can we do here? Each talent modern increases the damage dealt. This is a freezing attack, though. So when they're immobilized, I'll do more damage, okay? Hitting immobilized damage with a light attack, which is my quick one, extends the duration of the immobilized. Okay, let's do that, because I suck at these games, so. Boom. Oh, we can stack it twice. I feel like I might want to do that, because I'm not really good at Souls-like games, because I'm, like, impatient. I mean, we can do more damage. Let's just go. I really like the freeze attack. Even when it started the game and you had, like, god powers, I really liked it. Invest your vigor, solidify your foundation, and strengthen your flexibility. Sure. Master the art of sprinting. No. Master the art of spin staff. Fortify, defense, light attack. I'm a light attack. I've always been a light attack kind of guy when I play games. I don't think I have enough points to awaken this. Oh, yeah, it's 1. I've always been like that. I've never been like the tanky type. Makes your dots more agile. Yeah, I need that. A bunch of questions. I saw that the new Asus Zephyrus G16 with AMD, the brand new one, have similar as the G14 2023. When you put it on silent and turn it off, you can't power it on unless the charger is plugged in. That's probably a bug. I did buy a brand new Asus laptop, by the way. I bought the brand new Asus OLED, what the hell is it called? ProArt OLED 13.3 inch with the AMD 370. And I'm going to be doing a review of that tomorrow. It's actually right here. It's really heavy. This is the brand new Asus ProArt. And we'll see if it has bugs. It's a brand new chip. It came out like a few days ago, so there's probably going to be bugs with it. Hopefully they fix it. It happens. As a reviewer, have you ever encountered the problem with pixel burn-in on OLED laptops? I have never encountered pixel burn-in on an OLED laptop in my life, or a screen. I have bought an OLED screen on Facebook Marketplace, and it had, not burn-in, but it had like a gray after image, and I did like a pixel refresh. This guy again. I did a pixel refresh, and it got rid of it. OLED technology has come a long way. Like, honestly, a long way. There are some things like persistent, like if I was playing this game and I wasn't recording this right now, I would not have these static elements up here. I wouldn't have that FPS up there because those are static elements. They will burn in. When I do productivity tasks on an OLED, I hide the taskbar. But otherwise, you're moving it fast enough. If you watch ratings.com, RTING.com, they do a lot of OLED stuff, and modern OLEDs are pretty good, to be honest. Just hide your taskbar, I'll put it that way. Do you think cooling stands would be good if the laptop is a base made of metal? Yeah, absolutely. I've tested the 16-inch version of the Slim 7 with a cooling pad, and I've tested this one. I just didn't do it on camera, and recently I put out a video of a cooling pad. I talked about this earlier in the stream. Do not use one of these with the just fan and they plug in over USB. They don't do anything. There's no difference than raising up your laptop. I have a review from way back on the Slim 7 where I tested a Lilano cooling pad. And I have a video that I just put out a couple days ago of the Lilano cooling pad. It works very well. And this one here, FlyDigi, is another one. These have a foam gasket around them. So your laptop sits on them. It's sealed off, so it has to suck air from here, right? It's not just raising it up. And then the fan here plugs into the wall and it forces air into your laptop. They can be a little noisy, but they work very well. Like, legitimately very well. And they're expensive, but they're not that expensive. Like 100 Canadian, 60 bucks American. For the performance, and if you live in a hot climate especially, it's good. In Canada, people think Canada's cool, but Canada's not. It's been like 36 degrees every single day here. So in the summers, it's freaking hot, and the cooling pad helps a lot. In the winter, though, I just open the window. But if you live in like India, Pakistan, I mean, most of South America, the US and the South, cooling pads can really help a lot. Do you have the laptop raised? Yes, the laptop is raised. Yeah. No, it's raised. I have a thing underneath it right there. Yeah. This laptop is not super hot as it is. It's in rage mode right now, but yeah, I always raise it up. I missed another comment too. The pads with the tiny fans do work, but only if you're using a super thin laptop. Yeah. And it depends on your, like, it's better than just having your laptop flat, like massively better than just having your laptop flat. But compared to one of these things, they make a big difference. And again, it also depends on where you live, right? Like, I don't live in a super hot area. What the hell is that? But in the summer, it gets really hot. And it's just not good to have a laptop on your lap or flat on the desk. Let's try this. How do I get the laptop stats to show on yours like mine? So I have two programs that I'm using. One is Afterburner, MSI Afterburner, and I just use the overlay. It comes with Riva Tuner. It's just part of it. You just install it. It's right here. So MSI Afterburner, you install this. You can do your settings in there. Riva Tuner comes bundled with it. The only thing that I'm using that's not part of Riva Tuner is, where's my mouse? Hardware Info, which is right here. I'm using hardware info to give us the FPS chart and the CPU temperature. Just because for some reason MSI just like sometimes doesn't have the CPU temperature. I don't know, it's dumb. It's sometimes dumb. Do I send the laptops back? No, man, I don't return my laptops. Nah, because I don't want to get like boycotted or like blacklisted by like Best Buy. So when I'm done with a laptop, so I get, every couple months I'll get a review unit from Lenovo. They offer me to send me more, but I'm too impatient. I review the laptops. I want to review them right away, so I just buy them. So the vast majority of laptops, I'd say 95%, 95% of laptops I review, I buy myself. And when I'm done with them, I sell them. So I lose money on every single one. I have a Discord community. It's not related to my channel, but I admit it. It's just cool people. And I sell a lot of stuff to people there, locally on Facebook, and I just lose money. I just factor it in, right? Like I'm trying to grow my channel, right? I don't have a lot of money, so I just use them for a while and I sell them. I daily drive usually the laptops that I'm reviewing. So like I'm doing a retrospective of this Legion. That's why I bought it. And so I've been daily driving it for a few weeks now, and then I'm going to review it and I'll sell it. Usually with like that Asus down there, I probably won't daily drive that for as long. Probably about a week, and then I'll sell it. Sometimes with Legions or something, I'll keep them for a couple weeks, sometimes a month. I'm working on a Legion, that ThinkPad T16, P16 with a 4090. What the hell? I'm gonna die to this guy now too. Fuck. And I've been reviewing that one for like 3 weeks. Doesn't the stats reduce performance? It does. It does reduce the performance. It hits the CPU, not the GPU. If you were doing like a Cinebench run, if you watch my videos and I do a review, I'll do like a live section in my benchmarks where I do like live Cinebench runs and I like measure the noise on a thing and I look at temperatures live. But then when I do my actual benchmarks, I have like an voiceover. I get rid of that because in the voiceover, I run Cinebench with nothing else running. Take screenshots when it's done and then put them into a slide kind of thing, because yes, if you have hardware info up and all these stats, it'll hit your CPU. Not a ton, but you'll notice like a 5% decrease in performance. Yeah, 1%. Yeah, there you go. It's just enough to like, I don't want to do it, but game capture will slam your CPU, but I'm not doing game capture. Slam your GPU. I'm going to get wrecked. This guy's a fire sword, a double-handed fire sword. You guys want to watch me just lose? Yeah, man, this game's sick. It runs really well. It's actually running really well. I'm very bad at Souls-like games. This guy's going to fucking murder me. I'm very bad at Souls-like games. Like, I'm talking very bad. I didn't grow up with them. I'm older, probably a lot older than you guys think. I grew up with, like, Super Nintendo challenging, like, platformers. So I'm used to hard games, but not this. Fuck you, buddy. Run away. How am I supposed to block that? All right, let's see if I can block that. I highly doubt it. Nope, you can't block this guy. Yeah, man, I suck at Souls games. I'm just, like, so bad at them. It's funny. This game's fun, though. It reminds me kind of Jedi Survivor, but way harder. Jedi Survivor, I didn't find that hard. I played it quite a bit. I didn't find it that hard. Dark Souls and Demon Souls are too hard for me. Elden Ring it's kind of still too hard for me. I can do Elden Ring. It's a little too hard for me. Yeah, this game's pretty hard. I think the bosses, like, I could play this and be fine with it, and I will play this game. But it's enough of a Souls-like that you have to memorize the boss patterns, or you're gonna die. The mobs, like, these guys are whatever. They're nothing, right? Like, you're not gonna die to a mob. I have, because I've been talking, but they're not hard. The bosses, though, are really freaking hard. Kind of like, I'd say harder than God of War. God of War is much easier than this game. I have no problem with God of War. You can kind of just, like, wing it when you're fighting a God of War boss. You'll learn the pattern of the boss within, like, a minute or two of a God of War game. This game, like, you actually probably are going to die, which is fine. And then you go back and you fight him again, whatever. How old am I? I am 37? 38? One or the other? Something like that. I'm late 30s. I was born in the 80s. I'd have to, like, math it out. This guy hit me in one, and I died. So I think, like, this game, you do level up, you get experience. I think there's definitely areas you're like, don't go there, or, like, don't fight them. It's the type of, I'm the type of person who's like, I should fight that. It's a bad guy. But there's enemies like this guy, you're probably not supposed to fight him. Bro, is Jedi Survivor horribly optimized? Yeah, it runs really bad. Jedi Survivor, I started testing it on my Intel Arc when it first came out. It only ran on Intel Arc because AMD didn't have game-ready drivers, and Intel had game-ready drivers, but the game had memory leaks, and most of the NVIDIA games GPUs had inadequate VRAM, so the game would just crash. So the Intel Arc A770, which is like a 3070, was outperforming a 3080 in that game. And it was just because it was so poorly optimized. And Jedi Survivor runs way better than it used to, but it still runs pretty bad. It's playable, but it runs pretty bad. Any idea if there's going to be an AMD Slim 7 version again? Yeah, 100%. Lenovo can't put out... I don't think they can technically put out even press documents yet. I don't think anybody can, because Asus has an exclusivity period with AMD for the AMD AI stuff, meaning nobody's allowed to, like, encroach on that. So, like, I've seen leaked laptops because I have, like, people I know, but technically, I know there's laptops coming from Lenovo. I don't know what they are. I know one. I know the ThinkPad's coming. We always knew that. But I would highly assume that they're going to put out some gaming laptops, probably a Legion 14. That's just the AI stuff, which is the low wattage stuff. We also have Strix Point or Hawk Point. Hawk Point is the high wattage stuff. So we're probably going to see some, like, Legion 7 Pros with the brand new AMD stuff, which hasn't even been formally announced yet, let alone released. But we're going to see a lot of AMD. AMD's slow, and probably late fall we'll start to see some AMD stuff coming out. There's also the new Intel stuff coming, the Lunar Lake, which I have a lot of faith in, because the Core Ultra I find to be very good. I'm a big fan of Core Ultra Intel, and I think the Lunar Lake's going to be really good. Is this laptop similar to a Legion Pro 5 i5 5i? Is less powerful? It's about the same. You'll see here that the CPU is pulling 90, it can go up to 100. The 5i pulls maybe 10 more watts on the 4060. But the 4060 doesn't scale above, like, 90 to 100 watts. Like, 100 watts is, like, max. Putting 10 more watts on a 4060 won't do anything, really. Maybe, like, 2%. So 90 to 100 watts is, like, optimal for a 4060. I mean, I'll show you. I'll actually drop the watts down even further. I'll drop it down to, like, 70 watts, which is like a G14. Would be, like, 70 to 80 watts. And the performance is, like, the same. Now a 5i will have a more powerful processor. So in gaming, it won't matter. It won't make any difference. But in like rendering, video rendering, the 5i Legion will be more powerful. But otherwise it'll be fine. What do I do? Like for a living? I was a student. I have a master's degree. I have an undergrad degree and a master's degree in geography. I teach university as a sessional. I taught university as a sessional until this year. In my university, I taught for 4 years as a sessional instructor in planning, Department of Planning, I did one biology course, but it was like a eco-biology course. I taught planning for a few years. I also taught in an earth science department. I teach GIS primarily, geography, spatial sciences type stuff. And I'm like a health geography researcher, which I've been busy recently, but that's what I do. I'm like a health geographer, health researcher, kind of like an epidemiology, but I work with maps. I make maps. I do that kind of stuff. And I do YouTube now, both. WuKong on the 4060 is running very well. Amenera, sorry, I'm butchering your name. It's running way better than I thought. That's why I keep playing, because it's actually running really well. Really well. I'm very impressed. Strix Halo is on the super high-end AMD. Yeah, they're going to be expensive, Robert. Like freaking, and hot and expensive, but they're going to be great, to be honest. Why do I review mostly laptops and not desktops? Because I'm not... Okay, so the reason I don't do a lot of desktop, I have some stuff coming. I'm actually going to be doing a retrospective of the 1080 Ti, 2080 Ti, which is in my system right now. I have a GRE video coming, AMD GRE video coming. But it's really tough to compete in the desktop space because you have people like Gamers Nexus. Gamers Nexus is very scientifically oriented in the way that they approach products. If you notice how I do reviews, I'm a scientist, like literally, I'm a scientist. It's what I do for a living. But I approach reviews from a user standpoint. So I will go over straight data, like I have straight data here, but I interpret the data as a user. That's why I'm recording this laptop externally, not just getting game capture. And like a lot of the times for my videos, I record externally because I want to give people the experiential review. Like, what is it like to use this laptop as a person? It's very hard to do that on a desktop because, say I have a desktop GPU, all the other components are variable, right? Depending on your CPU, what screen you have, all these different things. And then that GPU, I mean, it's just the raw performance. So for desktop stuff, though, I do a lot of Intel Arc. If you watch the original Intel Arc desktop GPUs, I was one of the only YouTubers to do it. I bought one. It actually got my channel monetized and affiliated, Intel Arc. So I owe Intel a lot because covering Intel Arc when all the other YouTubers were like, Intel sucks, man, and then they didn't cover it. And I was like, bro, I covered it. And I'm saving when Intel Battle Mage drops the new desktop GPUs. Trust me, I'm going to buy it and I'm going to put out a ton of content. And what you guys can do is, normally what I do is I do requests. So rather than me just picking games, I'll do some videos of me just picking the most demanding, whatever, WuKong, playing the game, showing you guys how it works. And then I'll take requests on my channel. And you guys can vote on what games you guys want me to test on these GPUs. Because no one does Intel Arc. Because it's not popular. So it's like, there's really hard to find information on it. So which CPU do you have? In my desktop, I have a 7945X AMD processor. And my GPU swap, but right now I have a 2080 Ti in there. This is a 7840HS processor. 5060 laptop is going to be insanely overpriced. You are correct. Yes. NVIDIA is going to be very expensive. What are the quality settings you're playing on right now? I am on 2K. Yep. I am on 1600p. This is an 1800p laptop, but most laptops are 1600p, so I just dropped it down. And I've been playing on different settings. Right now we're on just medium with like a little bit of scaling. We can throw it up just so you guys can see. We'll throw it on very high again. Ray tracing works fine. I started the stream with ray tracing. It worked totally fine. I did have it on medium settings. Excuse me. Medium ray tracing with Framegen, and it gave us 60. Solid. So it does. You can actually do ray tracing, but you need to lower the settings. So we're going to go 60% scaling, which is like quality DLSS approximately. Frame generation on, which makes a huge difference, and very high. We're going to be able to probably get 60 here. You do not look like I'm not a university professor. That's different. I'm a university instructor. Professors have tenureship. They typically do a lot more research. I do university level research. I'm a researcher. I write papers. I help with papers more than I write papers. But I don't have any tenureship. I don't have any interest in being a university professor either, because I don't have tenureship. I don't want tenureship. They do a lot of research. Professors spend a lot of times writing research grants. It's not my thing. I like doing the research. I don't mind writing papers a little bit. I like writing reports. I like writing reports a lot. I like doing the science, but I do not like writing academic journals, even though I'm good at it. I just don't like it. I'm okay at it. I'm not good at it. I don't like it though. But I freaking love teaching, which is why my YouTube is basically a teaching YouTube. I love teaching, and I love teaching at university. I'm older than I look, man. I'm much older than I look. Sorry, there's a lot more questions here. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to go through here and probably die. Can you please suggest the best laptop for gaming coding around 2,500 American dollars? Gaming and code. It depends. If you need portability, portability is king. Maybe the G16 Asus. The G16, I don't like the laptop, but it is very nice. You can get it with a 4080. It's super freaking expensive, but that's a big budget, man. $2,500, you could get it, if you don't mind thickness, you could get a Lenovo Legion 7i Pro or 7 Pro AMD with a 4080, probably a 4090 now, with $2,500. It's going to be a beast, like a 4090, 13900HX, 4900HX, or an AMD 7945HX. It's going to be a monster. Does it run out of VRAM? No, man. This game has really good VRAM efficiency. We're at 6 gigabytes here. With RT on, it was like 6.5, something like that. You can see here we're at 6 for the game. We're at 7.3 for the whole system. I've never run out of VRAM yet in this game. I only have 8 to work with. 1600p. Maybe if I put it to 1800p, it would. It seems to be pretty well optimized. The Chinese developer here, I mean, they didn't want to screw around. This is a console port too. They obviously optimized this game because it's running incredibly well on a fairly like low to mid-range GPU, and the VRAM is not bad, not embarrassing. You could run this on a 4050 with the VRAM. Something Kumar, something like Lenovo Yoga Prime. Oh, that's some question. Can I get a LOQ 7840HS handle 80 watt, 85 watts to the CPU? CPU. Yeah, not the CPU and the GPU at the same time. The LOQ will run like this, or a 5 Slim, where you have a certain amount of watts you share between the CPU and GPU. If you're only doing CPU tasks, yeah, you can put, I think that CPU will do about 65, 70 watts. It'll boost up to 80, but it sits at about 65. That'll be fine. The GPU can do like 80 to 100, but you can't do both of them at the same time. You can't do 100 on the CPU and 80 on the CPU, GPU and CPU at the same time. It has to share it. But luckily, gaming doesn't hit both of them at the same time equally. You think AMD will be more dominant with 8000 series GPUs? Yes, because AMD 7000 series GPUs, which I've tested every single one of them this year, and I've owned every single one of them. I actually didn't put up videos on all of them. Were very good, but overpriced. The 7900 GRE is my favorite GPU of the last 2 years, though. It's an incredibly good GPU, and it's also technically a mobile CPU. So the 7900M, which is an Alienware, and I just put out that video, is also now in desktops, meaning AMD has the ability to put out really good GPUs. I just don't. AMD's a weird company. They make amazing products, and they make really bad decisions. So if they put out an AMD GPU, I'll buy it. We'll see, though. I don't know, man. They're just stupid. Can you try the same medium 2K? Yeah, man, sure. DLSS Max, that's going to be at like, we're going to get like a bazillion FPS. All right, so you want me to do medium. Okay, medium already runs really well. DLSS on max, oh, you're going to get like a, DLSS Max 25% is probably going to look pretty bad though. And turn off, oh, I don't have ray tracing on, man. I haven't run ray tracing for a while. Ray tracing runs fine though. Maybe turn off Framegen? So this, okay, let's put on Framegen. This is medium, Framegen on, 2K with DLSS Max. It's not going to look good, but we're going to get like 1000 FPS. It looks pretty good actually. DLSS is pretty good. There's a little bit, like you can see here, the tree looks weird because DLSS 25% is like, it's a lot of DLSS. I would probably on a 1600p screen not go above 50% DLSS. It'll just look bad. But we can do Framegen on medium with 50% DLSS, and you're still going to get 80 to 100 FPS. Yeah, 100 FPS. This looks, and see that tree doesn't look weird anymore? Don't do 25% scaling is really bad. This is a good way if you want high FPS. Medium DLSS on 50% with Framegen. I played Dokkan Battle. So by the way, are you excited for the new celebration? Yeah, I've been a global player since the game came out, and I watch YouTubers like DeTruth in JP, and I did spend some money when the game first came out, but I haven't. Ooh, this is a cool little village. But I don't spend money on the game anymore. The 9th anniversary has been really good. Like, I have a really old account, so I have like all these old characters from way back with Easy A-ing. I have, like the anniversary from the 6th and 7th anniversary, Blue Vegeta, Evolution Blue Vegeta, UI Goku, like maxed out. It's just free over time. So it's amazing that a gacha game can play this long and not die. But it's because they do also embrace the free to play. Like, you can play the game free. You can play with spending a little bit of money. You can play with a lot of money. Or you can play anywhere in between, and it's good for everybody. Right? Like, they actually are pretty respectful that way. I love Dragon Ball Z. I love Dragon Ball everything. I'm a dork. And that game is very fun. And it's like casual. It's one of those games you can just like play it. You can just lock your phone, come back, play it later. AMD Intel. This is an AMD CPU, 7840HS. They did not make an Intel model of this. Are you running the game with FSR or DLSS? 3. I don't know which type of DLSS this has. To be honest, I actually don't know. It doesn't say. Oh, I'm in the thing. Let's see. I don't think you have to Google it to see what type of DLSS it has. Some games will tell you. It'll be like DLSS 3. So you want me to do, are you running the game with DLSS or FSR 3? Could you do that in 1440p high? Yeah, so this is 1440p medium. So let's go 1440p high. DLSS 50%, which is technically balanced DLSS. This thing warns you, but don't worry about it. This is technically balanced DLSS. Quality DLSS would be 75%. So we're going to get about 100 FPS on medium. Oh, I have Framegen on. So let me turn off Framegen. Framegen works really well in this game. I don't notice any input latency with Framegen. So this is one of those rare games that, like, I would highly recommend Framegen. It works really well. Tech Bro. Hey! Oh, hey, King Maniac Tech. This is a homie. He has a YouTube channel that he's kind of just refreshing. And he has my Lenovo Legion 9i. He bought it off me. The Behemoth. With the 4090 and the mini LED. And he's going to be doing streaming on that. He has a Twitch channel. And he's actually a really good channel streamer because he doesn't have an annoying high-pitched nasal voice like me. He has a deep monotone, or a deep melodramatic kind of voice. It's really nice. And he's not monotone. It goes up and down. It's nice. I have a YouTube voice, so if I actually talk deep, this is my actual talking voice. I don't have a deep voice, but I speak deeper. But you'll notice that when I talk on YouTube, my voice goes up because I teach in university and my voice, when it's higher, it projects farther, and I'm used to that. So when I talk on YouTube, I actually talk at a higher level. But when I talk in real life, my voice comes down to right about here. I just find that the mic picks it up better because I don't have a loud voice. King Maniac Tech has a deep voice, and it's loud. Anyways, you should watch his channel. His Twitch channel. It's really good. It's really chill. I'm on a Legion 1660 Ti. Should I spend money on an upgrade? If you need to. Don't upgrade until you need to, because the longer you can wait, the better you can buy of a laptop. Meaning you can get a brand new laptop and, get better specs, the brand new stuff, or you can buy a cheap laptop. So this Lenovo Legion here came out at like $1,600 Canadian dollars, $1,700 Canadian dollars. I just bought it for $1,000 Canadian. It's like 60% less than I paid. Not 60, 50% less than I paid in the beginning, because I bought it a year later. It's brand new. So, I mean, there's an advantage to pushing a product until you don't, and until it doesn't work anymore. Booming. Yeah, you have a booming voice. No, you don't put people to sleep. You put people into relaxation mode. There's nothing in this village, like at all. I heard the new Legion 5 laptops with the 4000 series RTX GPUs are not so good on battery performance. Charging now. I don't mind if I'm on charge, but I'm also worried about damage. No, don't worry about charging. If you're worried about charging your battery, you can go here. I'll just show you this because we're apparently doing a Legion stream. Battery power. You come in here and you put it to, where is it? Conservation mode. And it will only charge your battery up to 75 or 80% here. And what happens is then your battery is not going up to 100% and just sitting there. And it's just better for your battery. Don't worry about having... There's that werewolf. I'm going to die. The new 2022 G14 is also an amazing deal. Yes, I have a retrospective of the 2022 G14. I paid $900 for mine, Canadian. And I have a retrospective of that coming. I just need to make the video. It's already recorded. It's 6800S is actually almost the same performance as this. It's a very good laptop. Best Buy Open Box. Yeah, I got it Best Buy Open Box. Best Buy Open Box. I got this from Best Buy Open Box. This one. This guy's way too strong for me. Can I just not fight him? I don't want to lock on. How do I not lock on? Bye. No! It locks you in. I'm going to die. This guy's... He's actually almost undodgeable. I think I need more skills. Like, there's other skills you can get in this game that allow you to do other things. I don't want to spoil it. But he's really hard to dodge because he comes in sliding. Let's try that again. All right. Let's see. I'm on trying a different list. Yeah. Oh, you're trying other Linux stuff. I actually didn't know that the Ally did that much Linux stuff. I know. Oh, Jesus. I know that Lenovo is really good for Linux. I don't know about the Legion Go. Bro. Chill, werewolf. Emulating, yeah. The nice thing about Linux is you are going to get better battery life. The ROG Ally has kind of not good battery life. Well, the newer one does. But that's like a Windows thing. This guy's really hard. He's a two-shot killer. Don't worry about damaging your battery. Just put it in conservation mode if you can. And just, yeah, don't worry about it. I'm dodging a bit too early. The thing is, yeah, I think this guy, I need to find him again. I'm dodging a little bit too early. He comes in and then he slides. I feel like you can up your jumping ability. I need to probably level up a bit. Because earlier in the game, when you're powerful, you can jump way higher. And I feel like I'm not getting quite under his sneaky boy. I feel like you can jump. There's got to be a way to make myself jump higher. Go for it. My Think Center is running Linux. Yeah, I've done some Linux. I'm just bad. Well, I don't have time because the thing is Linux doesn't run the software that I use professionally. So, and neither does Mac OS. So it's always something that I want to do, but it's just a pain. This looks pretty good actually. Not for the boss. It's useless for the boss. It's kind of a dodgy attack. Health would be nice. Cannot awaken. Why can't I awaken it? Awakened. Maybe I need to get further in the story because these are all locked. All these stats buffs are all locked. Oh, I just need more spark. More. I think I need more of those sparky things. I don't have any. I think that's what it's saying. Yeah, I just need more. That's fine. I need to up my stats. I went for the freezing attack, making it better, but I should have went for more stats. Screen tearing. You can get some screen tearing on this. This laptop doesn't have G-Sync. And I don't have V-Sync on. I could turn on V-Sync, I guess. This is 120 Hz refresh rate. I guess I could turn it on. I don't know why I've had it turned off, to be honest. Oh, I have V-Sync on. Okay. It might have just been a fluke. Yeah, Gamescom. Hopefully it's good, yeah. We'll see. Is it me or did I see screen tearing and my PTSD flashback from Jedi Survivor? No, Jedi Survivor has way worse. I haven't noticed too much screen tearing on this. Realistically, Jedi Survivor is way worse, man. It's a good game, but it just runs like crap. Jedi Survivor. This game runs really well. Oh, there's more of this stuff. There's got to be a way to fucking, like, what are these items that I'm getting? Like, these are, like, items. Sure. But, like, what are these little, like, little potion things? I don't have any, like, weapon upgrades. I'm just fighting this dude as a noob. This game does not hold your hand. I have no idea what I'm doing. Oh, yeah, the screen. Oh, you guys are seeing tearing up there. Yeah. Yeah, you guys are going to see way worse than me. That's that fucking werewolf again. You guys want to watch me die to a werewolf again? Get ready to compile your own stuff, even if you don't want to run OBS. It's fun. Yeah. Also, this screen's running at 120 hertz, and this is running at 60. I have no idea what happened. The power level in the ring on... Yeah, I don't know. That's weird, man. Did you open it up and try to play with the ring? It doesn't make sense that the ring would die. Like, it's almost like a firmware issue. This laptop doesn't have screen tearing, then. It doesn't have G-Sync, but it's such a high refresh rate, I just use V-Sync. It's 120 hertz refresh rate, so I just use... All right, I'm going to try this guy again. I'm going to get smoked. I'm just not... By the way, I'm very bad at Souls games. Just so you... All right, there was no intro that time. You just came for it. And you ate up my skill because I was casting, which I just learned. So if you're casting the skill while he hits you, you actually lose it. I just learned that. So that's another thing. Yeah, he's really hard. I'm going to go back and fight the big head dude instead. Haida, 1864. Hello. I'm like the worst when it comes to Souls games. Just so you know. Clearly, I play, like, the action games I would play. I mean, like, shooters. I play, like, action RPGs a lot. And I play a lot of strategy games. Baldur's Gate style games, like top-down games, RPGs, traditional JRPGs, traditional American RPGs. I would say the genre that I play the least is probably Souls-like games, because I am impatient. I grew up with Nintendo and Super Nintendo and Genesis, and I've just got my butt kicked by games my whole life, because that's how they were back then. They were super hard. So I think, like, as I've got older, I'm just like, man, I just want to chill. I don't mind a hard game, especially like a strategy hard game. Something like that, or fighting games. I can play like I'll play Street Fighter with anybody and just wreck them. But there's something about Souls games. There's so much, you just have to spend so much time memorizing the bosses that I'm just like, bro, I could have like played 3 other games. How much did you play? This game is hard. It is hard, man. The mobs are super easy. Like, the random enemies are like pathetically easy, and then the bosses are super hard. I find that Souls-like games, like, sometimes the mob enemies are also like relative, not hard, but challenging, and then the bosses can be hard too, but they're like less hard. This game is like, the enemies are a joke and the bosses just wreck your face. How much did I pay for 4 terabyte? I don't know what you're referring to. 4 terabyte SSD? Oh, you're asking King Maniac Tech. Sorry, that wasn't for me. AMD versus Intel in product and creativity. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Intel's technically faster for video rendering, I find. That's not true. I just made that up. The Intel processors that I've used recently are more powerful, but they're also twice the wattage. A 7945HX AMD processor will run basically the same as a 13980HX Intel processor. It's just that typically these AMDs nowadays are running like lower wattage. Like the 7840HS here is a low wattage CPU. It's not a super low wattage CPU, but it's relatively low wattage. Versus my ThinkPad, which has a 13950HX, which is like 4 times more powerful, but it's literally a desktop processor in a laptop. When it comes down to it, doesn't matter. Intel versus AMD for productivity. Intel's technically a little bit faster, but does worth battery life. Just get whatever's cheaper, man. Unless battery life matters, then get AMD. What are the terms of buying and returning a laptop in Canada? You can return anything within 30 days. I don't, because I don't want to get blacklisted, and it's just kind of against my morals, I guess. I'm like a paladin. I'm a paladin of virtue. It's just not something I want to do. I even buy all these games for my YouTube channel. I buy all the games. I only pirate a game if I already own it. and like the de novo or whatever is like really breaking the experience, I'll buy it and then I'll get like a pirated version and play that. But even when I'm game testing, I test the Steam versions because I need to play what you guys are playing. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. If I have a cracked version, it doesn't make sense. So I buy all this crap. And I don't return laptops. I just sell them. I just lose money. I buy the laptop, I review it, I sell it. So many questions. 13980X is a heater. Yeah, and I have the 5.0. It's the same thing. Super hot. I've been thinking about buying an external hard disk for supporting photos. $50. Doesn't matter, man. Just get a Western Digital. Whatever. I just have laptop hardware all over the place. Like, these are enterprise drives. You don't need something like that. You can just get a generic Western Digital blue hard drive. It's not a big deal. Hard drives you typically plug in, you store your stuff, and you unplug them. They're not going to take much damage. And they can last for decades. You're better off with a cheap 2 terabyte. Oh, you guys don't want hard drives and SSDs. No, man, I use hard drives all the time. Hard drives for days. 18 terabyte, Western Digital. Enterprise. 16 terabyte, Western Digital. And then in my desktop, I have the same, one of these and one of these. I also have a game drive here. Two of these. I have 12 terabytes. One hooked up to my Xbox. I bought this for my PS5 and then find out that my PS5 doesn't support 12 terabytes. It only supports 8. So I'm going to sell it and get an 8 terabyte. Hard drives are great. They're just slow. They're good for data storage, not for data processing. A 10 terabyte will cost an arm and leg in Tesco. Yeah, man. 4 terabyte NVMEs are like 350 Canadian, 250 American. 8 terabyte NVMEs are like 800 Canadian dollars, like $600. 18 terabytes is maybe $400. Yeah, I got those hard drives that I just showed you for cheaper too. I got them like open box or something. I'm gonna fight this big head guy, defragging 8. Okay, Robert, man, I don't know how old you are, but back in the day, I used to defrag like I'd have like a 30 gigabyte hard drive and it would defrag it and I would just leave it overnight. This is crap. This big head dude hit me once and killed me, so I'm gonna try it. Let me know if you guys want me to try any other settings. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna throw it down to a quieter mode. I'm gonna play in silent mode. Because some of you guys may not have a Legion with a 100-watt version of a 4060. Maybe you guys have a Dell XPS or an Asus VivoBook and it only runs at 60 watts. I just want to show you guys that you can play on a lower wattage 4060 and you can probably die less easily than me. Get wrecked, big head. I missed him. Oh, I'm doing no damage against this guy, like at all. He's a little easier to predict than that werewolf, though. I might be able to kill this guy. I don't know how to unlock. There we go. Right. Don't talk while you're fighting. Right. I got hit. The right button there locks. I just was talking and he hit me. This is not a like, I'm going to talk and play this game. This would be like the worst game for streamers. Unless you have like... Oh, I haven't recharged yet. This guy is faster than he looks. Yeah, this is a really hard game to stream and talk about at the same time. I need my freezing power. I can't beat this guy, by the way. I don't know his attacks yet. Oh, what the hell? If you hit him on the head, you bounce off of him. You actually can't hit him on the head. When you hit him on the head, you eject off. So I think what you need to do is you need to freeze him, hit his body. He has a charging attack where he slaps. That one's easy to avoid. That one rushing attack, you'd have to go around him. I need to up that skill, the like rolling skill, so I can roll better. The head is the weak spot. Yeah, it's weird. I like bounced off his head when I hit it. Maybe that was doing more damage. But I think you're not supposed to jump and hit that guy because you seem to deflect off. When you stand on the ground and hit him, it seemed to be more effective. Whereas that werewolf dude, you do want to jump. Yeah, this is the type game like you have to just play it, I think. Like I just have to sit down and play, just die at the boss like 10 times and be like, this is how you fight him. Like half streaming is super hard. That's archaic. Yeah. So back in my day, the first hard drive that I had, I didn't have gigabytes. There was no such thing as gigabytes. You didn't have gigabytes. I had a 20 megabyte hard drive. I was pretty young. That was an older computer. But I had like a 320 megabyte, or yeah, I think it was 320 megabyte DOS machine. That was big back then. 320 megabytes was huge. Because like a floppy disk was like 800 kilobytes. My first family computer was a 20 megabyte system. The whole system was 20 megabytes. And then my dad got a 40 megabyte system for Windows 95. I think it was 40 megabytes, maybe 80. And that was a little bit nicer because you could put on some bigger, Windows 3.1, sorry. You could put on some bigger games. But the problem is then like CD-ROMs came out and they were like 600 megabytes. So hard drives started to get bigger, games got bigger. And then we started to get into like, you'd get like a 20 gigabyte drive or whatever. So even when I was in university, there was no such thing as a terabyte like SSD. I mean, there was no such thing as SSDs. No one had them. They would have cost $1 bazillion. 40 mega, 64. Man, I had a, when I played Diablo 1, I had an 8 megabyte system, 8 megabyte RAM system. And it barely ran Diablo. Diablo needed 8 as a minimum. I think it needed 6. I think it recommended 16 or 32. 8 was the minimum. And then Diablo 2, fucking werewolf. So I got to fight the big head or the werewolf. The werewolf is actually easier. 8 megabyte system came out and, sorry, I got a 32 megabyte system came. And then I ended up playing Diablo 2 on the 32 megabyte. And I don't think that was, this guy immediately charges. I think you have to come in and immediately lock him. Like that, that's not a good time to do it. But I think what you need to do is you need to come in, you need to lock him when you get in, then you need to, because he just charges you. That attack, that's the hard one. That's the hard one to dodge. I think you need to dodge. Let's see if he does it again. I think I need to dodge it. He has such a weak ass roll. Yeah, you can't dodge that. He still hits you. Jumping doesn't work. You have to roll. But his sweep is too big. I feel like I might have to level up my roll because his sweep is too large. I think the other thing is you need to either have more jump because you can level up your jump and your roll. The jump doesn't seem to quite clear the ground sweep. The roll is way too small. So I think you have to do one or the other. And I'm impatient on top of that, yes. My first computer was a Pentium 3. My first personal computer, like my dad bought me when I went to university in first year university, was a Core 2 Duo Intel machine. But that was my first personal machine. That was the first one that was like a good machine. I also had like a used DOS machine that had it was a Tandy. It was a 486. Actually, I think it was a 486. It was like a Pentium not 1 before a Pentium 1. But at that time, my dad had a Pentium 1 machine. Or as a Celeron, same thing. Yeah, Core 2 Quad. Everyone wanted the Core 2 Quad because like Crysis and those type games, like you just couldn't run them on a Core 2 Duo. It wasn't possible. Or if it did, it ran like crap. So Core 2 Quad was like, you have 4 cores. It was still like a piece of crap, but. Go to bed. Hey, it's after dawn. Hey, man. Yeah, I'm going to bed in a couple minutes. Does anyone want me to try any other settings? I'm just dying repeatedly now. I'm in like low wattage mode now, so I'm running at 60 watts. So if you guys have like an XPS or a VivoBook or a ZenBook with a 4060, this is the performance you're going to get, man. Like, it's running pretty well. This big head dude is... I'm going to figure this... I want to kill this guy because he has a big-ass head. And I don't respect that head. But I need to watch him. Probably Google it and be like, how do I beat this guy's head? What does 1% low? So 1% low is like, hold on, let me get out of the way here for a second. The lowest 1 percentile. So if you get like a micro stutter of like a dropped frame or something like that, it'll probably show, this guy's harder than I thought too. It'll probably show up in the 0.1% lows, like VRAM stutter often shows up in the 0.1% lows. And, or if your settings are too high and you get micro stutter, it'll show up in the 0.1% lows. You'll get like a momentary micro stutter, or if it just keeps hitting. But if your frames are just like up and down, up and down, up and down, 1% lows are usually indicative of like general slowdown. So usually when you're playing a game, say I'm at 65 FPS, that's good. If my 1% lows were like 10, I would probably feel like the game was going up and down, kind of like playing like on a Nintendo Switch or something like that. And it would be kind of bothersome, but I could probably play, but I would enjoy it. 0.1% lows hitting and staying at something like 10, I find, is usually micro stutter. So it depends on the person, how perceptive they are towards that. I'm very sensitive to micro stutter. I don't really need high refresh rates. I'm fine playing games at 60 hertz. It doesn't bother me, 60 FPS. But if the 60 FPS is the average and the lows are like 10, I can't play the game. I'll get motion sick or something. So for me, I need to have like, my lows should be about 30% of my highs on average, or better. The mobs are like brainless in this game. Does the Legion have DDR5 RAM? This one does, yeah. This has fast RAM too. Fast for the time. There's faster RAM you can get now. This one has, I think it's 66,000? 6,400? Can't remember. It's been so long. 6,400 mega transfers RAM, which is fast. 7840 HS processor and very, very fast SSDs. Average over time. Yeah, it's an averaged. Yeah. And it all depends on how sensitive you are. Usually, for me, as a rule, I like to see my average, unless my average is really high, like 300. But I don't play games at low resolution. I play them at high resolution. So I usually play games between 60 and 100 FPS. So I usually want my FPS to be between 55 is fine for me, and 100 FPS. And I want my lows to be ideally half that or above, if I can, but definitely not lower than 30%. Otherwise, you can notice it's like, and you'll notice if you're playing games like Nintendo Switch games or a poorly optimized PS5 game or poorly optimized PS4 game now, you'll notice that your frame rate goes up and down. And they also call it like, I could put on like a frame time graph here, and you'd notice that like the frame time would be all messed up, like up and down and up and down. The frame time is there. That's how much time there is between each frame, and it just depends how sensitive you are to them. And it depends on the game, right? This game is, even though this is like a fast twitch kind of combat game, I don't think you'd need to play it at like 100 FPS, 150 FPS. You would want to play it at 60. Honestly, you wouldn't want to play it at 30 because you would probably die. But if you're playing an FPS shooter, because there's fractions of a second between someone comes around a corner and shoots you, you want to have very high FPS. I play a lot of strategy games like Baldur's Gate, it's like an RPG, which is literally turn-based. And as long as I'm at like 40 FPS, 50 FPS, it's fine. I usually like to play at 60 though. Consistency is best. Yeah, consistency is the most important thing with gaming. More than, you can play a game at 30 FPS, but that thing's got to be locked at 30. If you're at 30 up and down, the game is unplayable. I play like Hogwarts Legacy on my PS5, and I put it on balance mode, and I play at 45 FPS. And because it's locked, it's pretty good. What would look better? High settings at 1440. Well, I'll show you. So this is a really clean screen here. You guys get like such bad view. Let me go like that. I'm going to bring you guys in slightly. The only problem is it's an OLED. It's very glossy. I'm going to maybe turn this light away just so you can see a little bit better image. I was doing this for performance more than anything, but I'm just going to go like that. It's a little glossy. You can see me there. And now I will also interpret this. So let's see what the settings we're at here. Not going to worry about FPS. Let's just go for pure visuals here. We'll turn, what did you ask me specifically? High settings 1440p or medium settings on 4. Are you talking in general or in this game? Hayden. Because this is a higher resolution screen than 1440p. So I'm going to actually increase the resolution. So I'm going to put this thing up to 1800p, which is a higher resolution than 1600p. And I'm going to show it on high. Okay, so we're going to go high setting. I'm going to show it on medium. It's not quite going to look like 4K, but it'll be close. It's interesting because I have a higher resolution screen than 1600p. So let me just look at this. There's actually artifacting there. I might have to turn off DLSS because we're doing a visual interpretation here. Let's just turn DLSS. I don't think you can even turn it off. You have to like just turn it up. So strange. Okay, so now we're at native 1800p, which is very high resolution. You can see the FPS go down. This is a very small screen, by the way. Damn, it looks really good. This is just medium. Looks very crisp. I'm going to throw on now DLSS because I'm a big advocate for upscaling. If you have a high resolution screen, you can get away with more scaling and it will still look good because you have more data going into your algorithm, your DLSS algorithm. So you can see that, right? That's the DLSS issue there. See that flicker? Can you see that? Yeah, you can see that, right? That's one of the issues with upscaling. With very fine details around plants, those type of things, you can get weird flickering issues. Let's see if it goes away. And it's gone, or more or less gone. So I turned down the DLSS amount, and that flicker was significantly reduced. So one of the downsides of using a higher resolution on a weaker GPU like this is you might need more upscaling. And if you use more upscaling, it's fine, but if you add too much upscaling, it's going to start to look bad. Let's go down to a non-native 1600p, and we're going to turn the game up now. Okay, high. Let's turn the DLSS off. The frame rate's going to plummet, but I just want to look at it. This is a 1800p screen. Normally you want to play at the native resolution and then use scaling because otherwise you're going to get pixel issues. However, this is not a very big screen, so I can't, it looks exactly the same. I can't tell the difference between high and medium, to be honest. Like I actually can't tell. So that's why I've been playing on more medium than anything because I visually can't tell the difference. The other thing is I test on my channel in presets just because it's easy. And then you can emulate them, but you can do things like you don't need view distance to be high. I don't need anti-aliasing to be high. Post effects high. Texture qualities though. Why not turn up the texture quality, right? That's the type. So if I'm playing a game myself and I'm not doing it for YouTube because I just use presets because then it's easy for people to emulate what I'm doing. I will often do things like throw on everything to medium or high and then crank up the textures because the textures make the game look more detailed. And who cares if like your clouds are less realistic? How often am I looking at the clouds? But I'm looking at my character. So I'll turn up things like character models. I'll turn up often vegetation. There's vegetation. I'll turn this up. Turn vegetation up to high. Reflections like Illumination can make a big difference. If you get like ambient occlusions like shadows on the face, it can make a big difference. So I'm going to go vegetation very high. Texture very high, everything else on medium, right? Oh, you can actually, that you can tell. This guy looks way different. There's a little bit of flicker from the DLSS, but his outfit, I don't know if you guys can tell. The vegetation looks better too. Yeah, that looks really good actually. I don't actually know what it did. Maybe it filled in more vegetation or something. I don't know. This, yeah, oh yeah, it did for sure. The detail on the plant in the background is very high now. So you may want to turn up the textures and the vegetation and then just turn everything else on medium. And then you can play around with DLSS. I want to know if this is the Slim 5. Does the Slim 5 14-inch perform the same as the 16-inch? Theoretically, yes, Stormcloak. The 16-inch will run a little bit cooler because it has bigger heat pipes and bigger fans, but the raw performance will be the same. Assuming they're both AMD, they'll run the same because they don't run hot. But the problem is, like what Robert's saying here, yeah, it depends on how you're slamming the system. So a game like this, I'm not hitting the CPU and the GPU at the same time. This is a very GPU heavy game, so it's fine. If I was playing Cities Skylines 2, I've actually noticed that Horizon Forbidden West hits the CPU pretty hard. Baldur's Gate. Then you're going to be hitting the CPU and the GPU at the same time. And as Robert says, then you're going to have a heat issue. So I've noticed that the 16-inch perform better than this in games like Baldur's Gate because you're hitting the CPU and the GPU super hard on this laptop. So I actually play those games on balance mode, never performance mode, because I find then the CPU gets too hot and it gets throttling. Whereas the 16-inch is just thermally better. More important on Intel, because Intel runs hotter. I'm assuming everything else is the same. I can try 1080p, sure. Small screens don't need big screens. Yeah, this screen would look good at 1080p because it's very small. For me, 14 inch is the max I would want to do for 1080p or 1200p. Once you get to 16 inches, personally, I find that the resolution is too low. I can't do 1080p, I can do 1200p. It's 16 by 9. So we'll go that. Oops. Now what I am going to do, and this is good because some of the LOQs and Slim laptops, Legion Slims, and other brands come with 1080p screens. Oops. So it is good to do this. So we're going to do 1200p. It's 1080p, same thing. Slightly harder than that. No scaling. And we'll do that medium, very high mix for your test here. All right, so that's a little low. So then what we'll do is we'll turn down those settings to I don't know, like an actual medium or something like that. The textures seem to make a big difference. Not the textures, the plants. The vegetation makes a huge difference in the performance here because there's so many freaking plants in this game. All right. See, like over here, we're at 60 at 1200p native, medium. And then you come over here and look at the plants and it's just like, pew. That's still doing 52. It's not bad. No scaling. It's kind of like Avatar Frontiers of Pandora or whatever. The plants just murder that game. I'm going to throw on Framegen, wherever that went. What? Oh, there it is. I'll throw in Framegen for you. Plug it into a 4K display. I can plug it into a 4K display. The problem is I'm using my 4K display, but I can do it. Just give me a second here. That's Framegen. I would rather a native res on the screen. Yeah. So Robert's 100% in the same thinking as me. I would much rather play 4K native and then just put on crap loads of scaling than put my screen to like 1440p. I have a 4K screen in front of me. I'm going to have to... I'm getting tired, by the way, so my brain is starting to get fried. But I'm still going to do a couple more minutes for you guys because I want to get a couple more tests. Because, yeah, some people do run these externally. So I'm going to plug this in. Just give me a second here. Okay. That's fine. 4K. I might have to exit the game. Sometimes it crashes. Some games crash when you do this. I'll try, though. I'll see if it'll let me do it. Just going to come back. Give me a second here. I'll switch over to my external. It might crash, but we'll find out. So I'm going to go on 2 only. Come on, WuKong, you can do it. Don't crash, don't crash, don't crash. Now we're on the 4K screen. We're going to go up to 4K. And this is where you find out if the game crashes. Nope, it didn't crash. Okay, so now we're at 4K. I'm going to get my ugly ass mug out of here. I'm going to have to put myself in performance mode probably here. We're going to need it. So this is 4K now on a 4060 laptop. I don't know if we're actually at 4K. Let's go through the settings here. No, okay, so that's going to freak out. It's probably going to have to restart. Yeah, see how it's freaking out? Let's try windowed. Sometimes you can then recover it. No, let's kill the game. I'm going to kill the game because somebody asked me about 4K. I'll do it. I'll do it for you. How do you exit? Great, there we go. It just didn't, it doesn't understand because I went like in the middle of a game and put it on 4K. Okay, you guys are over here now. Sorry, I'm gonna move you over. I can't find your questions. There you are. Okay, while this loads up, I'm going to read a couple questions. Look at my massive game library. Aren't I cool? You can see what I've played recently, except that. I don't know what that is. I want to, though. It says indie mixtape. Okay. I would... Which laptop would be better? A DealPad 5 Pro or Yoga Pro 7? Technically, the Yoga Pro is a more premium laptop, Pro 7, than the DealPad 5 Pro, but they're so close that I wouldn't worry about it. Get whatever's cheaper. Get whatever has the better screen and gets you better specs for the same money, because they're so damn close. You can also get the Slim 7, Sharma. You can also get the Slim 7 Pro. They're all the same freaking laptop, man. Just get the IdeaPad 5 Pro, Slim 7, or Yoga 7 Pro, Yoga Pro 7. They're almost exactly the same. Get whichever one has the best specs for the money, because otherwise they're basically the same. if you're looking at a laptop to look at this, you can get an eGPU. I actually have an eGPU. It would run faster than this if I put like a beast CPU, GPU in it. Looks really good at 1200p without scaling. Yeah, looks good. Thank you for showing us. How much does Ryzen 7 7840HS score in Cinebench? You'll get about 16,000 up to 18,000 Neo Tokyo 98. You'll get, I would say on average, you'll get 17,000 in Cinebench on this CPU. If you have a bigger laptop than this, you'll get 18 to 19,000. This laptop's pretty thin. You'll get about 17,000. Are you going to benchmark Final Fantasy 16? I might. I am a big Final Fantasy fan. 16 didn't really appeal to me, but I think I'll probably do it. I think I'm going to wait for it to come out formally though, because the issue is that like they never have game ready drivers, and they just like it never reflects the actual game. So I could test it maybe for you guys. Just do the demo. Yeah, I could do a demo for you guys if you want me to test the laptop. I might as well. I don't know if this laptop has HDMI 2.1, so I'm going to turn off VSync. It might get tearing, but I'm just not sure if it has that. Oh, I got AMD 5000 series HP laptop to work. Hell yeah. AMD 5000 series is still grossly still good. 14-inch thing. Got Ryzen 5. Research. Ryzen 6 is better, but 5000 series is still great. The iGPU is not great. Yeah, it's a Vega. It's good for like basic stuff. Actually, how much does 17,000 score is fair? Oh, you can do 4K editing on... Man, I 4K edit on this laptop every day. Every single day. It's great. 17,000 is like very fast for video editing. Very fast. Exporting, it will be okay. If you have a GPU, like a 4060, 4070, 4080, the GPU is going to do the output, and it's just going to get better and better and better. But a 7840HS is more than capable for 4K video editing. I do multi-stream 4K 60 video editing on this laptop. And the 8845HS, same thing. Okay, so someone asked me about 4K. So we're at 4K. Let's try native. It's going to run very bad. But we'll go 4K medium, and it will run very bad. But we'll just see how it looks. Can you see over that laptop? Yes, you can. Okay, and while that loads, I'll come in. Do you still have an Ultra Chunk 4090 ThinkPad? Yeah, I do. ThinkPad, I do indeed have the laptop. It's like a semi-nerfed 4090. It runs pretty. It can get up to 140 watts, 130 watts. It's a kind of nerfed 4090. It'd be better. Your favorite short guy. Oh, you are my favorite short guy. And it's okay to join late. Do you think this game is playable on the Legion? Yeah, this laptop is way weaker than a 4070, 14700. This is a slightly weaker CPU. Actually, it's fairly weaker CPU, but in this game, it won't make a difference. And this is a 4060, you have a 4070, so whatever I'm doing here, you can add 10%, 10 to 15%. 12900 HK is an extremely powerful CPU still. Okay, so this is 4K native. Whoa, look at that slideshow. You know what? Honestly, if you turned off motion blur, you could play. It's a native 30. It's like the games I used to play back in the day on like Xbox One X and PS4. So you're gonna get 30 FPS at 4K native on medium, which is not great, but it's playable. However, NVIDIA and AMD and Intel have a thing called upscaling. So we're gonna go 50. Let's try 50. We'll probably get a huge jump to performance. Oh, that took time. That was laggy. It went down to 33. That's weird. Why did it do that? And it went to high? That was weird. That was a weird bug. It like actually freaked out there. Weird. Sometimes I think that even processors are getting fast, like 20,000. Man, honestly, all these processors are so freaking fast. So this is 4K medium with 50% scaling, no frame gen, and it's 60. Like, people don't realize you can do a lot with a 4060 laptop. Unless the game is poorly optimized. If you were playing Starfield, this would be like garbage because it just doesn't run well. The engine of Starfield is bad. But this is WuKong at 4K 60. with medium scaling. It's done. Right? And because this is such a high resolution screen, it looks better than 1600p with the same amount of scaling. Yeah, Robert. Well, it depends what you're doing, right? Like my ThinkPad does 32,000, and my desktop has a 7950X, and it does like 40,000. But for like video editing, day-to-day stuff, even super demanding stuff, laptops are crazy fast now. It's only if you were doing like super high-end, like AI type work. I mean, you could on a laptop. You need like a big ThinkPad or a big Legion or something. But I mean, at that point, just if you're doing something like that, you're just going to be slamming the CPU constantly. Better off just getting a desktop. I just bought a 13700 like mini PC, knowing that it was probably a bad idea. It's not a K or an F. It's just like a 13. Look at that. Look at that DLSS artifacting there. It's weird. And people tell me that DLSS is flawless. Oh, how'd they lie? Anyways, yeah, I just bought a 13700 mini PC. It's outside there. I'm gonna throw a 30. This guy again. I'm gonna throw a 3050 low profile in, and I'm gonna have a 13700/3050 mini PC. It's gonna be sick. This DLSS is looking weird, so I'm gonna actually go Framegen. I'm gonna turn it down. Oops, no, don't do that. Starfield is bad. Starfield is horrible. The game is, it's alright, but Starfield is a very old engine, and people don't realize this, but engines make a, well, I mean, they do. Engines make a huge difference in the game. This game obviously has a good engine. Like Unreal Engine 4 or 5 runs amazing. Starfield was built on a very old engine. Old engines have like limitations on how fast they can go. So you can throw like a 4090 at Starfield, which Starfield does not look good. It looks like worse than Skyrim, maybe the same as Skyrim, like vanilla Skyrim, which is not that good. That's an old ass game. It's like a 10-year-old game. But you're not, even on like a 4090, you're not going to get very good frame rates, right? Because the engine will not allow you to. This is doing better. Framegen. That DLSS makes a huge difference though. Yeah, this is pretty bad. We'll throw a little bit more DLSS on. I mean, when it comes down to it, we're on a 4060 laptop in a game that came out today. It's very demanding. Let's try 70. Yeah, Starfield is so bad. It doesn't run on a 4060 laptop. It just, you just can't. You need like a 4080 or 4090, honestly. All right, I'm gonna try to go over here. I haven't went to this area. I need like experience. These guys I killed. Is there another way I can go? I've been talking too much. There's got to be another way I can go, because I need to get more experience. I just suck at this game, so I need to level up instead. Starfield is Fallout 7. Fallout is better than Starfield. Fallout 76 I haven't played, but I much prefer Fallout over Starfield. Did you try Starfield after the update? It runs okay now. It runs okay. You can play it, but it runs worse than it should. Like, it's not like you can't play Starfield. It's just that this guy, holy, this is a fucking machine gun. It's just that, you know, Starfield, you'd expect it to run better on hardware that you're playing, like, games like this on that look 1,000 times better. And then you load up Starfield and you're like, what? I heard Fallout 76 was garbage, so I just didn't even try it. I got to the very end of Fallout 4, the very end of one of the... This guy, I forgot about this guy. And I have to fight one of these bosses. And I suck at this game. Anyways, I got to the very end of Fallout 4 and I lost my save, and I just never played again. And Skyrim, same thing. I got to the very end of Skyrim and I lost my save. This is back like years ago. Steam cloud saves were like unreliable. And I was just like very upset. 1.4 million peak on Steam, and all of you guys should be watching me play this game. And how many are in here? I think there is actually a lot of you guys. I think it's at like 30? 20, 25 now, 753. You guys are cool. Cool people. This guy, I don't remember what this guy does. Okay, he does that. Oh, this guy is probably easier. I might actually be able to, I don't need to watch him, but I think I might actually be able to beat this guy. me see what he does. His range of swing is less. That werewolf thing, it's massive range attack. I think I needed more roll. Oh, I could beat this guy. I suck at this game, but I could beat this guy. I just have to practice. This is the guy you're supposed to fight right now. Yeah, see, if you jump and you hit them, you have a very large rebound. So, oops, I'm not paying attention. And actually, when he breaks out of his thing, he immediately attacks you. So you got to hit him like 3 or 4 times. Then you have to bail. He does that too. You have to hit this guy a few times, then you have to bail. Otherwise, he just swarms you. That guy, I think I could beat him. I have to practice, but I just lost you guys. Where'd you go? Where'd the chat go? There you go. Couldn't find you. I'm going to probably play for a couple more minutes. I think later when I play this, I'm going to fight that sword guy. So I think that sword guy's way easier. The werewolf guy hits too hard. His range of motion is too large for me. That sword dude, you freeze him. If you hit him a bunch of times, then when he breaks his freeze, he immediately hits you. So you need to hit him and back off because you can't stagger him. But I think I could stagger him with a power attack. So I think with that guy, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a power attack. You can charge up using Y, and he does a power attack. And then you can stagger him. And I think he's small enough as a character you could stagger him. Because if you just hit him with light attacks, you just break it. Then he hits you right away. Final Fantasy 16 runs even worse. Yeah, Square Enix has been putting out like very poorly optimized games on PC. Unfortunately. Do the staff getting longer move? Want to see how much? Yeah, okay. I don't know where that guy went. I'm going to get lost. I think I could beat that guy. I think you need to freeze him. You need to use power attacks. He's significantly easier to dodge. I'm going to try it. You can heal, but I only have 2 healing potions. And there's no like native healing. You have to go back to the incense thing and rest. I actually only have 1 healing potion left. No, I have 2. So it kind of sucks. Like when you get smoked, you get smoked. Turn back. He is back. Oh yeah, he was the other way. Which way was he? Was he up here and then through the other side? I thought that was the werewolf guy over this way. Yeah. DLSS, FSR, and XeSS, in the beginning they sucked because they looked bad. But nowadays the scaling, that's the werewolf. Do you guys remember which way to get to that sword dude? Because this guy's the I can't beat this werewolf. There's no freaking way. I'd need to really practice that. This guy, I thought he was this way. Because that way doesn't go anything. Are you sure he's not this way? Let's go this way for a second. The thing about 4K is running 4K games natively is very difficult. But if you're okay with, this is not the right way. Let's go this way anyways. If you are okay with scaling, look how good this game looks. Don't fall, monkey. This game would look really good on an OLED, my laptop there. You guys couldn't tell because my camera sucks. But to me, it looked really good on that OLED screen. This is not an OLED, but it is a very nice screen. 100% DCI-P Dell. But on a big OLED, this game would look incredible. Only if you have PC on this. Oh, that's not for this game. This is a little weird. This DLSS. It might need to get like an update because there's a lot of sparkling I've noticed in water. It actually goes away when you turn on ray tracing. This sparkle, see that sparkle there? That's not supposed to do that. That's a DLSS bug. It goes away if you enable ray tracing because it fixes it. No, I don't want to fight you, wandering white. More like wandering big ass head. Go away. I don't actually know if you can just run. Just casually run. Okay, the sword dude was over here. Was he up the bridge or I think he was over here. Neo Tokyo 89 has a lot of faith. 98 has a lot of faith in me that I could beat this guy. I can't beat this guy. I could beat him, but it's going to take me a lot of time. Probably can't beat him like without taking significant amount of time. Go away. I'm very bad at Souls games. You probably could beat him. But I want to just kind of learn his pattern a little bit. Because it's my goal to beat this guy at some point in the next year. Okay, so if I freeze him, okay, so if I freeze him and then I power attack, he does get staggered. Okay, chill. So I think the key is he goes ballistic after you freeze him though. So you have to freeze him, and then he's going to charge in a second. You have to freeze him, and then you have to hit him with a power attack, and then you need to get away from him. Because he goes, as soon as his like freezing thing is, he immediately goes ballistic. Yeah, see, now he's going to get pissed. Yeah, see? I can actually beat this guy. That actually does a lot of damage. I might be able to beat this guy on stream. Maybe. I'm very bad at this game. Also, I'm trying to read the chat. Give me a sec. I'll read the chat in a sec. Now, the thing is, you can't block him, though. Let me try, like, I wanted to try to block his spinning attack. The blocking seems really weak in this game. Like, he does a block where he spins the staff, but it doesn't seem to do anything. Anytime I've done it, I might just have really bad timing. But anytime I've tried to block, I get wrecked. Super resolution. Yeah, I can try the other resolution technique, sure. Let me run back to that weird watery area. I would say on average, DLSS looks better than FSR. Not always, but on average, it looks better than FSR. XeSS looks the best. As someone who's used Intel Arc a lot, like I've used the Intel Arc GPUs for a year as a daily driver and off as a daily, like a non-daily driver for 2 years, almost. XeSS doesn't perform as well as FSR, close, but not as well, but it looks way better. And it looks better than DLSS even. XeSS is incredible tech, but the thing is, it's only on Intel, and like no games support it. XeSS on non-Intel cards works the same, runs the same. It'll look the same, and it will run well, but if you have an actual Intel card, it has XeSS acceleration cores, which will give you better performance. So it will be able to match FSR on an Intel card. On a non-Intel card, it will be slower than FSR. It'll still look good, but it won't run as good, if that makes sense, because they have native native XeSS cores. Wait for Star Wars games. Oh, that new Star Wars game? What is that new Star Wars game called? Where you play like a smuggler? They keep like changing what that game's supposed to be like. First it was supposed to be open world, now they're like, but it's not. Okay, so let's look here. That sparkling is bad. Really bad. I've noticed that in several places on water. Let's go with... not DLSS. Let's go with... What the hell's TSR? Let's go with XeSS, which... the same. We'll try XeSS. This should, in theory, get rid of the shimmer. It did not. Oh, it did. Kind of? It's not as bad. It reduced the shimmer. Now the plants are shimmering more, though. We also don't know what versions these are. This could be this could be XeSS 1 versus XeSS 2.0, 2.2. That could be DLSS 2, not DLSS 3, 3.2. This could be FSR 1. It's probably not, but it could be FSR 1. It could be FSR 2. It could be FSR 2.2. It could be FSR 3. So we don't really know. That's the one downside. And FSR 2.2, for example, is much better than 1. FSR 3.2 is significantly better than like all of them. Yeah, it's still sparkling. Now the shimmer's gone on the plants, though, with FSR. Let's go back and try... What the hell is that TSR? Triangulated scaling resolution? I don't know. Discord notifications? Do I have Discord notifications? I don't even have my sound on. Desktop audio? Oh, I might have my desktop. I might have my desktop audio on because my actual computer is muted, but you might be hearing it through my recording device. Just like bloop. TSR. Okay, let me try one other thing because that's scaling. Okay, so it is that weird. Blah, blah. Who cares about like the performance? Let's go with DLSS. Let's turn it less. Let's turn it less. Doesn't make sense. 80%. It's like it's still there. What is that? I think it's a ray tracing thing. Like when you use ray tracing, that goes away. Let's turn off scaling. It's so strange. Because I went before the stream, I did a little bit of game capture and it got messed up. And then right at the beginning of the stream, if you were here from the beginning, I had ray tracing on, and there was no shimmer anywhere in the game. Like the ray tracing gets, see, it's not a scaling thing. It's like an actual bug in the game, right? Like look at the lighting; it looks weird. I have scaling off now. At least, I don't know. You can't like turn off scaling in this game. You can't just turn it off. It's always on something. It's just at 100%. It's weird. So I don't know. Maybe it's like a bug or something. I don't know. Let's turn up vegetation quality, water quality and stuff. It's gonna run really bad. Now that we know it's not DLSS. Okay, so let's go like this. Let's turn this back. We'll turn that on. We can try ray tracing later. Just see what it does. Let's just turn the settings way up. It's gonna run horrible. We're gonna get like 3 FPS, but yeah, see, it's reduced now. Now the plants are shimmering though. Right? It's so weird. It's gone now. It's like a setting issue. I can still see them periodically. It's so strange. How much FPS does 1440p normal? Okay, I'll do that. And then I'm going to turn on ray tracing. I'll finish up after that, but I'll just do a ray tracing thing. But let's do that. So that's 1440p. What did you ask? 1440p. Yes, that's fine. 1440p normal without DLSS. Without DLSS and without Framegen. So just 1440p. I don't know what setting. Maybe medium? So we're going to go 1440p flat. No Framegen. We'll go medium. I think it gives you about 50 FPS. 55 FPS. I did this earlier, but I can't remember. So this is 1440p native medium. I think it's going to be like 50, 55. Yeah, 55. Hey, look at me having memory. So you get about 55 FPS native medium. When you go to draw distance, it drops down. Some areas you'll get 60. If you put it up to high, it drops down, I think, to about 45 or 50, if I remember. That was like an hour ago, 2 hours ago. This is high. Yeah, 45 to 50. Did you switch to PC? No, I'm just, it's just HDMI, 4K on my HDMI screen. I'm going to test the 1080 Ti and a 2080 Ti, but I'm going to do a video of that because it's such a pain in the ass to do desktop stuff. Like I have to do DDU in the middle of the stream. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a video testing because the 1080 Ti is like the best GPU ever made. It's still viable. And then I'm going to do a 2080 Ti, see how that runs. And I'm going to do an Intel Arc A770 video. But the Intel Arc doesn't have the drivers out yet, so I'm not going to be a dick and be like, oh, they don't have game-ready drivers, they suck. Which is stupid, they should. But why test the game before it's optimized? Yeah, ray tracing. So let's try ray tracing, not at 4K. So we're going to go ray tracing on medium, and I'll restart the game. Because I did this at the very beginning of the stream, and I don't think a lot of you guys were here. So it'll be our final send-off to smash this GPU with ray tracing, which, by the way, it works pretty well. Oh. Why does it make me stop the game? Here, you guys can see some of the games that I test. Horizon Forbidden West, Baldur's Gate, which I play. I just bought these, so they haven't been tested. I bought that. That came free with Company of Heroes. Looks cool. Ghost of Tsushima I test a lot. Hogwarts. Last of Us. What else do I test here? What the hell is that? Oh, I just got that. I just got this Doom game, which is sick. I just bought that as well. Final Fantasy. And then apparently the new Final Fantasy comes out. So now I got to play the new one. I can never catch up. I can never catch up. I actually don't have Elden Ring on... Do I even have Elden Ring on PC? I have it on console. Do I have it on GOG? I don't think I've ever played it on computer before. I may not actually own Elden Ring on PC. I have it on Xbox. I might have it on GOG. What do you say about the hinge quality on Legions? No, man. Legions are very well built. It's one of the reasons I buy them. Because I sell my laptops after I'm done buying them. After I'm done testing them. And there's three reasons why I test a lot of Lenovo stuff. People think, like, it's a joke in the Discord that I'm like a Lenovo shill. I do like Lenovo stuff, but I'm not like, I don't care. They don't pay me, so I can do whatever I want. But I buy them because, for one, they're cheaper in Canada. Lenovo is significantly cheaper than other brands, so it's much easier for me to buy the product. I could buy 2 Lenovo laptops before I could buy 1 Asus, if not 3. That's one thing. 2, they're very high quality. Very high quality. They have very good cooling. Not all the Lenovos, but in general, like as a rule, you're probably fine with a Lenovo product, specifically the Legions. Very good build quality, very good hinges. They're just nice devices. And 3, the warranties are 100% transferable, as long as it's in the same continent. So a North American Lenovo Legion, if I buy it and I just sell it to someone, I don't need to worry about warranty transfer. It's theirs. They get the warranty. Okay, so this is ray tracing now. So we're at ray trace 1440p, medium settings, medium ray tracing. It can go to light, but we're going to go medium. DLSS, we have to turn it on, just realistically. Let's try 70. No, let's try 50 to start before we do frame gen. So this will just be half scaling, but no frame gen yet. The Yogas are actually Lenovo's most premium, I would say. It might be Legions, but Yogas are extremely high premium. I wouldn't worry about the Yogas and hinge quality. I've never had hinge qualities on any Lenovo's. At least, no, I haven't in my entire life. And I've been using Lenovo's since they were IBM. I mean, it's possible. You can always get hinge issues, but I haven't seen them. I haven't had hinge issues since I had an MSI Stealth GS60, which had horrible hinge issues. So look at how this is running, by the way, if you guys can see that. You may not be able to see the screen very well. We're at 55 FPS. The lows are okay. We are at half DLSS, but we're at 1440p with medium ray tracing and medium settings. Ray tracing on a 4060 laptop. And so I'm going to go find that water, by the way. I'm going to show you guys. It actually looks good. And then I'll have to finish the stream, unfortunately. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning here. Thanks for everyone for checking in and watching this and hanging out. I don't stream very often. I like to stream more. I finally have a better camera setup, like a streaming camera and this camera. And I'll stream probably some laptop reviews, laptop unboxings. I did a few in the past, and people seem to like them, so I'll do them from time to time, especially with something interesting, something new that other streamers or creators haven't talked about. And I don't mind doing game streaming, more for just testing the stuff. Like, I don't actually play the game. I'm not really like playing this, kind of half-assing it. Not that I'm good, but yeah, Lenovo's and Legions in general have very high value. Okay, let's look at this water. Look at that, it's just gone. Right? That weird effect is just gone. Ray tracing makes the weird shimmering on plants go away, and it makes the weird water shimmering go away. Isn't that weird? I wonder if, like, Gamers Nexus won't talk. They might. Gamers Nexus might touch on that, or Digital Foundry. That's a Digital Foundry kind of thing. Checking into, like, ray tracing. I think they already did their video, but you never know. I don't know if they talked about ray tracing, like how it looks bad without ray tracing. It doesn't look bad. It has errors without ray tracing. It looks amazing. But there's those weird shimmerings that you get, and then you enable ray tracing and they go away. I noticed that also really bad in like these areas, these rocky areas. When you had ray tracing off, you would get shimmering, and then when you turned it back on, the ray tracing would like fix it. It's really weird. Please stream more often. I love these streams. Yeah, I don't mind streaming. it's funny because I'm in like a weird time zone. So like when oops, I'm not paying attention. When I stream, it has to be like late, kind of semi-late for me, which is like pretty late for the rest of North America. I'm Canadian, obviously. It's pretty late for the rest of North America, so like Americans and other Canadians. But it works well for like people in Asia and Europe, because like Europeans would be like waking up. Not Europeans, Asians and Indians and East Asians, South Asians would be waking up, and Europeans would be like kind of like midday type thing. I said that backwards, but you know what I mean. Yeah. What? Yeah. Yeah, Europeans would be waking up. Indians would be like midday. People in like China, Japan, if this person is from Tokyo, would be slightly later in the day. And then Europeans would be waking up, and I'd be like super late, 12 p.m. Where are you, Ladura? You would be, if you're 12 p.m., you would be 12 p.m. noon. You would be like Europe, East Europe. 4 hours. You'd be 4 hours. So India's 4 p.m. That means that Ladura has to be in Europe. CO. What is CO? What is CO? 7 a.m. for Dorian. So you are in Eastern time. Not Eastern time. You're in Atlantic time. So Slovenia. Yeah, so Europe. Yeah, Central East Europe. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. 4 hours. I have 2 geography degrees. So if I was unable to do this, I would bring shame to my family, and I would have to off myself. Who said 7 a.m.? So Dorian is 7 a.m. So you have to be in Halifax? Or 3 hours difference? Because 2 hours to Ontario. You'd have to be in Halifax, man. Or like East Coast Canada. You'd have to be in East Coast Canada. Or in the ocean. I need to know where Dorian is now. Because you have to be Canadian. I don't think anything is in Atlantic time other than Canada. Oh, you could be in Greenland. You could be in Greenland. Iceland? I think you could be in Iceland, technically. We're at 1440. Finally, I found the area I'm supposed to go. I knew I wasn't supposed to fight those bosses yet. Because there's a power-up you can get over here. That's what that stupid insect was telling me. The problem is I can't hear the game. He's actually talking in the game. You guys might be able to hear him, but I can't. Oh, Brazil! Southern America. Brazil sticks out, yeah. Brazil sticks out the same as East Coast Canada, yep. Because the United States doesn't have Atlantic time. It doesn't stick out far enough. It would have to be Brazil. Yeah, that makes sense. Or Greenland. Nice. This is 1440p medium with medium ray tracing. I'm set. Yeah, it would be nice to have a map. I get lost very easily in this game because I'm a map brain. I have a geography brain. Slovaks also call themselves Sloven. C? Or that might be is that a C or K, depending on language. I don't speak Slovak. Can I jump down there? Jump, you stupid monkey. I want to go over there. That's the area that I was, the temple. That stupid insect thing was telling me that I had to like go somewhere specific. But then he like vanished. He turned me into a fly. You guys might not have seen that. I turned into a fly for a while. And then after I was a fly, I was flying around as a fly. And have I been here? And then after being a fly, basically I got murdered. Oh, you may not be able to see that. Yeah, you guys are kind of far away from the screen now. That's unfortunate. Sorry about that. I could have put it back on the laptop. We're at 1440p. We are getting 60 FPS, 58 FPS. Sorry, someone asked me to do 4K, and then I put it on the 4K screen. Before it was right in front of me on the laptop. You guys are going to have a hard time seeing that. Here, while I just finish off. I'm going to do probably a couple more minutes, but I will do this so you can actually freaking read the text. Look at that. Look at that FPS. Well, that made the game run slow. That was weird. We could throw on more scaling or, you know, play around with settings a bit. If you are right, Brazil is aligned to Greenland. Never thought about that. Yeah. Brazil is technically in line with East Coast Canada up into Greenland. Iceland would, I think, is in its own time zone because it's further over. I think. Time zones are weird. Like, they don't actually go up and down. They often do follow political boundaries. I deal a lot with time zones because of my geography crap. And some of them are really weird. Yeah, ray tracing is murdering the lows. Yeah, it's actually playing pretty bad. I even have Framegen on, don't I? Oh, no, I turned Framegen off. Okay, that's why it's running so bad. I can turn this back up. I forgot that I didn't do that. Framegen makes a huge difference in this game. They have implemented it very well. So we'll turn up DLSS, turn down DLSS, sorry. So better resolution, and we can turn Framegen on, and it does help a bit. But I think, yeah, I was gonna say, but I think you have to turn the DLSS. Ray tracing, I mean, it's ray tracing, right? It kind of murders the. I was getting higher FPS before though, which is weird. Like with ray tracing, I was getting like, oh, there it goes. Okay, I was gonna say I was getting like 20. I think I was getting 25. Yeah, the lows still kind of suck. Yeah, it's 8 gigabytes. That's the other thing too. So it's not just the amount of VRAM, like the amount of VRAM is being 8 gigabytes, but having more VRAM also increases memory bandwidth. And this is a fairly mid-range, lower intro card, so the memory bus is going to be lower. So when you get into things like 1440p ray tracing, I mean, even if you have the raw power to push the frames, you don't have a huge memory bandwidth. You don't have a big memory bus. It's not the most powerful card. It's in a laptop, so it does get to a point where it's just like, all right, let's be reasonable here. How much 3K would be? I don't think I can do 3K on this thing. Yeah, this game won't even let me do 3K. 3K is like 3.0 by 2000. Yeah, 3000 by 2000. That's like the Lenovo Legion 9 Pro. But this game doesn't let me do like weird integers. It locks you to like the normal ones. 38 is 4K. 3K is technically like, yeah, the 9i, the Lenovo Legion 9i is 3K. It's 3000 by 2000 or close to that, like 3100 by 2000, depending on the aspect ratio. It's just below 3K, just above, right between 3K, right between 4K and 1440p. That was very hard for me to say. The Legion can do it. It's got a 4090 or 4080, but do you like playing on the Slim 5 OLED or the 3K? That's a really tough question. So Sila or Kyla just asked the most difficult question that I will ever answer as a YouTuber. Because I love OLED screens and I love high resolution OLED screens. The 3.2K screen that's in the ThinkPad P16, also the Legion 7i Slim has that option, and the ThinkBook 16 has that 3.2K screen. It's a gorgeous screen. It can be between 500 and 800 nits depending on the iteration of it. It has 100% DCI-P. It's a non-glossy screen. It's gorgeous, and it's factory calibrated. It's a gorgeous screen. The OLED, though, has better blacks. It's also glossy, though, right? I prefer playing games on the OLED, I would say, probably. Because the colors are the same on both of them. They both look fantastic. But the OLED blacks in certain games, like if I came, this game doesn't have a lot of darks. When I was playing Ghost of Tsushima, it made a huge difference. But using an OLED on a day-to-day basis, like for just like general use, I prefer the IPS screen. No contest. It's just easier on the eyes. OLEDs have problems. Like they can make your eyes get irritated. They can be a little bit harsh. You do have to worry about burn-in. So I say I'd probably prefer day-to-day using a very high resolution, very good IPS screen. This is a very good IPS screen in front of me right here. But for pure gaming, the OLED blacks, depending on the games you play, just pop more. The other thing is, I'm hugely controversial because I prefer glossy screens. Most people don't. Like, this is a non-glossy screen, so that's why you guys can see it. Before I was playing on the OLED and it was super glossy. Glossy screens look better because when you put an anti-gloss coating on a screen, you're diffusing light. So it doesn't glare as much, but the colors become muted. So things like reds will be brought down, all the colors will be brought down. So a glossy IPS screen can rival or beat a non-glossy OLED. Easily. A glossy OLED is like the king or queen of everything. Like this Legion has a glossy OLED, so it looks amazing for content. But it's glossy, so some people don't like that. It's hard to use in really bright environments. So then what you do is you add an anti-gloss coating to it, like the ThinkPad P1, the G14, G16. Then the colors are more muted, and at that point, it's closer to an IPS. Not quite, because the blacks are still better, but it's closer to an IPS. And then it comes down to a trade-off. Then you can get a glossy IPS, like the Asus X16 has a glossy IPS screen that looks so good. Like, it almost looks like a mini LED. Yeah, blacks in game, like blacks in like in content is so good. Blacks in like day-to-day doesn't matter. Like using Windows, who cares? But when you start watching like movies on an OLED or playing games, not this game, it doesn't really look that much different because it's not a very dark game. There's not a lot of blacks in it. It's actually a very bright game. There's a lot of like color. It looked about the same. But if you were playing like Ghost of Tsushima, or any game that has a lot of darks, the blacks on an OLED they just slap. How's the display compared to the same range of hold on, wait, what? Oh, you asked a question before that. Okay, so Legion, Robert said 13-inch Prestige I've got is 1800p, which is the same as this. iGPU is the dock. Yeah. So you're doing native integer scaling, which is a good call because that's a lot of resolution. And then Haida. Oh, you're talking about King Maniac Tech. Yeah, King Maniac Tech has a YouTube channel as well. He took down some of his videos because he can explain this, but he's overhauling his channel now that he has a dope laptop. But he streams a lot on Twitch. I don't know if it'll let you drop your Twitch. You can try it. It's weird. YouTube is weird with dropping like Twitch links. It may just not let you. But you can drop your Twitch link here if you want. Or just go to his YouTube. Click on his name, go to his YouTube, and you can find his Twitch. He streams games like actually playing them, whereas I'm just like rambling. Look at those lows. It's so bad. Whereas I'm just rambling. 5-year-old laptops were garbage. What does this do? This meditate thing? I don't actually know what this does. Yeah, laptops have come such a far way. So people ripped on the 4000 series NVIDIA like this here because the uplift over 3000 was like nothing. Like a 3070 Ti will outperform a 4060, no problem. 3070 Ti is about the same as a 4070, maybe. Yeah, it's about the same. So it's not like a huge uplift between generations other than the 4090. However, the 4000 series is much more efficient. Like, I can go like this here, and I can throw this thing into silent mode, and I lost 8 FPS. And now the thing's running at 65 watts instead of 160 watts, and I lost 6 FPS. Ooh, not even, lost 5 FPS. They're so efficient, these new GPUs. The 3000 series needed watts to get there. But, and 3000 is not bad either, because 3000 was a huge upgrade over 2000. 2000 was a huge upgrade over 1000. So they're just getting better and better. That was a huge drop in frames. So they're just getting better and better and better. So I'm expecting that 5000 series NVIDIA is going to be, I think we're actually going to go back to more power, because I don't know what else they can do. Like, I think the desktop NVIDIA and the laptop NVIDIA are going to become less efficient this next generation. Because I think they kind of go in a wave. So they go one generation of like more efficient, but like not much more performance, but you use less watts. Then the next generation, they pump the watts up to get crazy performance. Then the year after that, they perfect that process so you get the same performance, but the watts are low. So I think we're going to go like that. I think 5000 series is going to be a high watt year for AMD and Intel, AMD and NVIDIA, and then we're probably going to drop back down after that. So probably going to end the stream in a moment. It's 4:20 in the morning. I'm dying. 4,000 fatter price. 5000 series on laptops is next year. Yeah, we're going to start seeing announcements for 5000 series desktops anytime now. The real information for 5000 series will drop in the fall. And my assumption is that CES 2025, which is in January, is when we're going to start to see 5000 series laptops like ready to rumble. Like I may actually go to CES. I went last year. I may go this year. And that's when we're going to be like actually seeing the laptops. Like we'll walk into CES and there'll be 5000 series NVIDIA laptops there. That's my assumption. But we're going to be talking about them potentially in the fall. We'll be talking about the GPUs in the fall. We'll know potentially what the NVIDIA 5000 series and AMD 8000 series laptops can do in the fall. The desktop stuff should be, honestly, any time now. We're going to start to see desktop information come out. Probably like end of summer, September. We're going to start to see the desktop stuff coming out in earnest. Information about them. Like real information, like not just like random crap. And then NVIDIA might launch something this year. Maybe. I kind of think they're going to drop a 5080 this year. Maybe a 5090 and just pump it out to like AI companies. And then later it comes to consumers. But I could see them releasing a 5080 this year before the end of the year. But who knows? Laptops are way off. Way off. Desktops, it's hard to say. Because they're going to do AI stuff first, NVIDIA, because they make so much freaking money off of it. They're going to put all their silicon towards the AI stuff. The high-end 5090 is going to be the first GPU they launch, trust me. But it's going to be like impossible to get. It's going to be for AI, and then they'll start to put all the consumer stuff. And just because they're going to be just raking in money off of a 5090 sold to consumers. 8 gigabytes is, it's like not enough. It works in like a laptop like this, because it's like, a 4060, like you can get a 4060 laptop for like 1,000 Canadian dollars, which is like 700, 800 American. And like the watts don't have to be there, it just works. And like you get 8 gigabytes, you're still going to play games. But realistically in a desktop, 8 gigabytes is like garbage, actually garbage. 4090D that had 48 gigabytes of VRAM. Yeah, there's also the ADA 5500. Professional workstation desktop GPU that has 48 gigabytes of RAM. You can buy it. It's like $7,000. I was looking it up yesterday. I just bought a brand new A4000 GPU, which is last generation desktop productivity GPU. 16 gigabyte NVIDIA, low profile, low wattage, thin little thing. It's coming in a couple days just for fun. I'm going to test it out. It's like a 4070. Sorry, not a 4070. Excuse me. It's like a 3070, but it's 16 gigabytes. That's going to be fun. Really fun, actually. I'm going to end the stream. It's 4:30 in the morning. I am toast. Thanks for everyone for dropping in. Hopefully that got you guys to think about this game and a 4060 laptop. It ran really well. The game is very fun. I suck at it. I think I can beat that guy with the sword, which is probably as far as I'll get in this game, and then I'll cry. The game runs really well. Really, really well. In general, at least on NVIDIA, it seems to run really well. The AMD CPU here is just singing in this game. The 4060 is singing in this game. I think if you want to try the game and you're like considering it, like maybe play it, I think it's pretty fun. I think you'd like it. If you are into challenging games and solo games, you'll probably love it. And the 4060 handles it. So if you have a 4060, even a 4050, you'll be fine, I think. If you're a baller like King Maniac Tech with a 4090, you just ripping this game at 1,000 FPS. So, all right, thanks guys and girls and everybody else. Enjoyed that. It was very fun, and I shall talk to y'all later.